Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between, welcome back to the ESFL. We are back with the Undisputed season, week number 3, presented by CFESA. Along with me is Bruce Lee Rob. How you doing today, Bruce Lee Rob?
I'm doing fantastic. My brother Kingsley, how are you doing tonight? It's another show, another boxing extravaganza.
Yeah, it's a boxing extravaganza. We're towards the midway of the regular season that we have for Undisputed. Again, I am your host and commentator, Kingsley, alongside Bruce Lee Rob, and we have such an amazing 8 fights that we have for you. Let's take a look at the fight card that we have for you on week number 3. Again, and our main event is going to be EyeGameUWatch versus Addict85, Bell the Undefeated, the co-main Pryoxis versus King Diaz. A lot of people trying to find their way back into the top spots like Loso versus Bone doing work, King Young Butter versus Joe. Fight Night's Finest going against JxShepp. When you look at all these matches here, Rob, what are you looking forward to the most in this week number 3?
I am looking forward to the 2-0 EyeGameUWatch going against a real test tonight, another undefeated fighter in Addict. Also, I must admit, I'm excited to see Pryoxis versus King12Diaz, but so many good fights, so many good matchups, so many people that really need some points to excel themselves in this competition, my friends. So it's going to be another great show.
Absolutely. And if you guys are just new here or just coming into the new season that we have here for the ESFL for the Undisputed season, let's take you back to give you a little bit of a rundown on what's going to be happening in this regular season. So there's going to be 7 weeks of just contests. There's going to be gameplay along with everything, and then along with that, there's going to be a win-loss point system. So if you win, you get 2 points, but if you lose, it will be 0. And then you can get a full 3 points if you get that extra special point, which is the knockout. And also, by the end of the night, we will have a fight of the night that will have some monetary value along with everything else. So, Rob, we take a look at the standings here, we know that EyeGameUWatch, he had a knockout. He's 2-0. He got the full 5 points, but there's so many people in that 2-point counter that it's kind of a dogfight trying to climb up to the 3 points and the 4 points. So this is a very monumental week here, Rob.
Indeed, it is. Indeed, it is. You got a lot of guys 1-1, fighting for that second point. But you got EyeGameUWatch, the clear dominant winner here, and Addict and Loso right behind. So a lot of people able to make a big leap in the competition today if they get a big win with a big knockout. So exciting stuff, Kingsley. I'm ready to see these fights.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we have 8 fights for you. There's going to be a lot of bit of scoreboard watching, so you have to see that now it's not going to be strategies in the game. It's going to be strategies outside the game. And speaking of which, we are ready with our first contest. They're in the fire selection screen. It's going to be Word Life versus Game Over, who came in here last week. And Rob, I know you commentated his fight. What are you expecting from these two guys trying to get their first ever points in the Undisputed season?
Yeah, last week was a really cool card because you got to see K Young Butter against Word Life, and it was such a highly technical exchange between these two. And Word Life is so good, but he's still 0-2. He hasn't gotten any points, he hasn't gotten any wins, and this is just how stocked our competitive pool is here in the Esports Fight League. And Game Over 0-1 has a huge test here against Word Life, so I'm really excited. He lost to Pryoxis. He was a last second replacement in week 2. So he really has a big moment here to get some points, Kingsley.
Yeah, and that's a big thing for Game Over. Like, he was in the first week, so he's kind of a little behind the 8
Hmm.
ball in the point standards. But also, he had to go against Pryoxis, who was looking forward to like recoup some of the lost points that he had from the first contest against JxShepp. So it was a lot of big things right on this. And again, we're live ESFL vet. Big
Mm.
known for making great fights and amazing things. The fact that he's 0-2, he had some tough fights. So we'll have to see what he does. And we see in the fire selection screen that Josh Taylor is the selection for Game Over, and Amir Khan is for Word Live. We know Amir Khan, you talked about it before in week 1 when we both did commentary, that Amir Khan has a lot of power in his punches, but the chin is something that he needs to be worried about if he's not trying to go full defensive, not like a balanced style and trying to go aggressive.
Yeah, 100%. I think that Josh Taylor, as we saw, he's a bigger athlete. He's pretty long out there, and I'm not, coming back to me and Kingsley. Hello, we are here. But yeah,
Yeah,
Amir Khan, you got to watch out for that chin, but he does have a lot of pop on his punches.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw a little bit on the screen there. We'll try to get back to the fire selection screen. But again, along with our fight style, the rule set for the ESFL is that for damage modifier, it's 1.5. Stamina is 1.5 modifier for the stamina. So it's going to be a little bit different than what you would see in ranked competition or even quick play. This is something that we implement to make a lot of our fights a little bit better. But speaking of the rest of the fights, because we see these two guys are fighting for the first ever points, there's such a log jam with the 2 points. You see Roysten, jmma, who was 1-1 in his contest, has 2 points. Bone doing work. KGoldBoy, Job, Fight Night's Finest all have 2 points. What do you see playing now when we get to the end of this whole event? Do you see some people kind of having some separation in the contest, or do you think we might see more of a logjam going into our next event of the week,
Yeah,
of the week's end?
I would think it would be more of a traffic jam, Kingsley. I think there's so many talented, closely matched up fighters that it's really hard to pull away. You got one guy, EyeGameUWatch, who's got 5, Addict's got 4. We're gonna see that matchup tonight, and we're gonna see who's gonna really take the throne, King Kong of the division. And you got Prize still, looming in the distance with 3 points. But yeah, it's a logjam, like you said. So it's very important to separate yourself from the competition and to get a week or a win in week number 3. I think next week we have off, but it's a lot on the line here, Kingsley. They really need to focus because there's not much time. It's almost like football. Every fight matters so much.
Yeah, and next week, as you said, we're gonna have a little bit of a bye week, and then we're having the next 4 weeks be the rest of the undisputed season. So when you think about the
Mm.
standings and everything, Talent versus JMMA, Talent has 3 points, JMMA has 2 points. If one of those wins, say JMMA gets a knockout, he gets full 3 points. That's already in 5 points, and he jumps into possibly second place. And then the next matchup, Loso versus Bone Doing Work. Loso with 4 points, Bone Doing Work with 2 points. Just think about Bone Doing Work getting a nice comeback victory and leaping forward against Loso for having such a huge lead. So, along with this, along with the bye week, there's a lot of times where you could just implement your strategy and also try to figure out, like, all right, do I need to be a little bit more aggressive with the next 4 weeks, or do I need to play a little bit conservative? Because that's going to be playing in the minds of everybody's head here, Rob.
100%. And looks like the fight is back up. Let's go ahead and jump into the action. Looks like they're loading up, but yeah, you make some
Perfect.
great points there, Kingsley. And the fighters have also had the opportunity to see the competition, to see their game plans, to see what sort of adjustments they make. And so now they are here after some training, after some footage, and we're really going to see what they bring to the table tonight here in our opening match. And I'm so excited. And Word Life is so good. Like he is just his boxing, his movement, his ability to take a punch, give one. I mean, this guy is the real deal, and he's one of my favorite fighters on this or in this league. So can't wait to watch him again tonight here, Kingsley.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have to see if he gets the 2 points or the 3 points that he needs to stay in this competition. Again, we're live in the blue corner using Amir Khan versus Game Over in the red corner using Josh Taylor in our first matchup of week 3 of the Undisputed ESFL season presented by CFESA. And already a little bit more playing in the center of the ring, but not super aggressive, but a nice body shot from Game Over, trying to take advantage of the aggressiveness of a War Life so far.
Yeah, both guys kind of just staying their ground in the ring, a little bit of feel out process. And what Word Life does so well is with Amir Khan, we saw last week, is just his ability to give a punch when his opponent is, coming a little close to him. Kingsley is so good at that stationary combat. We'll see how Josh Taylor adjusts here, but so far so good for both these guys.
Yeah, as you said, We're Life, he's been known unproven vet, and you like what he's seeing, what he's doing right here. He's staying more in the center of the ring. He's bringing his opponent in. So once that opponent comes in, those punches get a little bit more damaging. But you see a right hook from Game Over. He's trying to answer back, but a counter to the body from We're Life. It just seems like he's just saying he knows where his shell is. And he's going to bring his opponent in. He's not trying to go on the action. He's trying to be more reactive to what his opponent's doing.
Yes, 100%. And you're also seeing Game Over really trying to stay at that range with Josh Taylor at 5'10". Keep that distance and hit him from outer space. Word Life can't touch him, but Word Life still finding his rhythm. Both guys still trying to find their momentum here. And I'm thinking Word Life right now getting the heavier shots here. That left hook is landing.
Yeah, the left hook has been his favorite move so far in this first round. Seems like he's getting the right range for it. Well, game over. He's trying to use that jab, which I love working the jab a little bit much. That's like the boxer's favorite move. But every time he goes in, it just seems like he receives like 2 or 3 strikes more than he can dish out. So with 5 seconds left, he needs to go back into his corner and see what the game plan is going to be to adapt. But so far, it seems like it's world life round so far.
It does seem so. That was a good one from Word Life, opening up round number 1. Game Over did hit him with some long jabs. He's good at distance. You're seeing it. But Word Life able to, stay cool, calm, and collected. And here we go, round number 2, and he might have taken that first round for sure.
Yeah, and we'll have to see what is Game Over is going to be his plan. And so far, double jabs, nice working on the face of Word Life. Word Life trying to play a little bit more as consistently as he possibly can, try to save more center of the ring. But you see, nice straight from Game Over, trying to bring his opponent, get that black gauge a little bit low for his opponent, and nice step back straight onto the face of Word Life. But Word Life still moving forward, but he's kind of missing. Needs to put the range on his shots. But so far, Game Over trying to change up his strategy a little bit more, not trying to go in and full on be aggressive, but trying to pick off his shots.
Yeah, very jab heavy from that distance from Game Over. And at the beginning of the second round, you saw Word Life a little bit more pressure. He's taking that center stage in the middle of the ring and trying to put the pressure, but Game Over responding really well. And you're also seeing Word Life going to that body, going downstairs with that body hook, and also, power hooks on top by Word Life. He's starting to feel himself here.
Yeah, good combination in the half part of this second round right here from World Life. Doing such a nice job to get the combinations going into the phone booth. But right now, in the range game, what can you possibly do to continue his advantage, his momentum towards the end of this round? But so far, World Life going in with the body shots, working really well. And you see Game Over trying to answer back. He's a nice snapback, but not able to connect with his jab. But so far, center of the ring, not a lot of outside movement for both of these competitors. They seem very comfortable of just staying in this like tight knit range right here.
Yeah, a lot of punches being thrown inside of the pocket. You're seeing Word Life really lean heavily into that lead hook, and it seems Game Over is having some trouble in round number 2 with his range and his accuracy. He's not able to hit Word Life like right there. Step back from Word Life, the footwork just too good.
Yeah, it's too good. With 10 seconds left, we can put a capitalization on this round, but he needs to get going. Oh, but the combination going hot and heavy from Word Life as he seemingly
hot and heavy.
Seemingly finish off the second round with a nice flow. He has 94% health, which is the red bar, and the stamina again 97, which is working really well. Do you think he might turn up the heat going to these next couple of rounds right here, Rob?
Yeah, that's a good question because he's so good, fighting in this style. And we saw last week against K Young Butter him slowly deteriorate in there with Amir Khan's chin. You'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive this week, especially against Game Over, who he seemingly is doing very well against. So I hope so.
Yeah, you have to think, if he gets a knockout, that's 3 points into the standing. So this is a lot to play for both of these competitors because they both need points to stay in the competition. But this is straight pushing the head back on Word Life. Game Over, able to answer back, and I feel like he's now starting to get a little bit of a rhythm. Maybe he saw what was happening in the first 2 rounds, saying like, if I have to go, I'm gonna have to hit a counter and find my right shots. And so far, he's working well with the 2 counters.
For sure, Word Life's a player that kind of sits there. He'll let you get, your breath. He'll let you get some space. He doesn't really put too much pressure on his opponents. He kind of almost is like a counter fighter here. And Game Over is starting to take advantage of that. You saw the power straight. You see the power shots coming in. You saw the power body shot. So he's starting to open up here in round number 3. It's Game Over.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what Game Over is doing. He's not just leaning back what you would usually see in ranked games. He's leaning more to the side a little bit, trying to avoid the hooks. But again, suffered with 2 left hooks from Word Life. But so far, if he keeps consistently like changing out the predictability of his lunges away, maybe that gives him a right opportunity to attack his opponent. But like right there, a nice back away, trying to hit him. But again, suffers 3 straight combo hits on his face. Word Life is able to answer back with 30 seconds approaching in the 3rd round.
Yeah, you're seeing some more footwork from Game Over, and he had a good shot, and then he kind of just stood there, didn't have his block up, and Word Life just pieced him up with that three-piece in a soda. You know what I'm saying? Dang.
Yeah, 3-piece combo. You can't call it KFC, but right now, Word Life doing so far, trying to work his way in the end of it. Again! corner. Rock with 2 seconds left trying to run back, but that's a huge momentum booster on the heels of World Life doing so well, and he still has 96 stamina, so far so good. And that Rock has to be concerned for game over, because that's not what you want to see go into the 4th round, because now that copy box prediction is gonna not look in his favor.
Definitely not. Nice little left hook there. Ooh, but look. Oh, no, you're right. Yep. 28-29, that last round goes to World Life, the round previous as well. So it's a pretty close fight between these two. And that left hook has been money for World Life all fight. And there it is, the cherry on top in round number 3. And he just popped him with it, baby. He popped him with it.
Yeah, and now it's up to World Life. What is he going to do? He knows he's getting hit with a little bit of counters, but every time he's in this little phone booth, he sees an opening. When he sees his opponent's hands down, he's able to land. You saw the left hook landing on the face of Game Over, but what can Game Over do? Every time he tries to approach in, he always gets hit. So I want to see what can he do defensively to trying to counter the first initial strike from World Life. But World Life with a nice left hook again, the move that rocked Game Over in the last round. It seems like he's continuing that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Rob.
No, sir. And now World Life has his block up. He's standing right in the face of Game Over. Maybe a little bit more aggressive than the other rounds, but still being very patient. Letting Game Over, swing, miss, and then he's countering very heavily. But ooh, there's that straight punch that we saw earlier from Game Over. And it's been a good shot for him tonight.
Yeah, and the caveat of that, like, one big strike is that he had to land 3 whips just to get that one big strike, and he can't use that much stamina or use that many power shots to just land one opportunity. He needs to make it consistent throughout the whole fight. But right now, with 40 seconds approaching in the 4th round, World Life is trying to make his way back in, trying to fight more in center of the ring, trying to find the body, but both guys just working so well with the patience, as you see a nice body uppercut landing on Game Over.
Yeah, and I'm seeing World Life really starting to settle into this fight, and his ability to switch up to the body. Right there, you're seeing it, bang, bang, and then the left hook. I mean, so far, he's taken over this fight in round number 4. Another good round for the young World Life.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw a little bit of the moment at the last seconds of that last round from Game Over. It seems like a little bit of hesitancy to like fully go after it with his striking. You see him lunging back or trying to go for the block because he knows like any moment World Life could go for his barrage and trying to hurt him again. I want to see if he like has a little bit more hesitation in this round right here, Rob.
Yeah, he's got a he's getting a barrage of punches though from World Life, and he cannot be hesitant. He's got to be confident out there. He's got to make an adjustment. Obviously, World Life is going to the body. He's going to the hook. He's got to block that body, lean back, try to dodge the hook, and counter brilliantly with the long arms of Josh Taylor.
Yeah, he lands a nice like body power shot onto World Life, but World Life able to answer back with a nice combination. Oh, a nice blow. But a nice body shot, able to lunge away and get the shot back to get a nice little bit of a counter. But now in these situations, what can Game Over do? He's been working the jab. He's just trying to find his way back in. But this is also going to the stance play with like loose and trying to be tight. If it's the southpaw versus the orthodox, that kind of changes up the momentum or your moveset a little bit in this contest here, Rob.
100%. And here comes World Life attacking him against that corner. And you want to see Game Over get back to that straight that he's been detonating on World Life with, but there it is again in that jab, and just staying loose out there. Those hooks are coming. There it is. The footwork, the head movement, Kingsley is what he needs to employ in his strategy to get this round number 5 in his bank.
Yeah, he needs the head movement. He needs everything in his arsenal to get the points. But with combinations like that, World Life is putting the word of death on his opponent. And right now, with 30 seconds left into the halfway point of this whole fight, of our first fight of the Undisputed Week 3, World Life trying to find his way back in, trying to go for a power shot, but gets hit with a nice straight with a counter. Oh, but combinations hot and heavy, trying to rack his opponent again. 10 seconds left. Can he forward the momentum again? World Life not going to possibly have an opportunity, tries to go for a power shot, not able to land, and both guys will go back into the corners as we approach the 6th round. And so far, World Life barely a scratch, already hitting 90% mark on the health, but still has plenty of stamina to work with.
Plenty of gas in the tank. Round number 6. Game Over needs to stay at distance. There's that jab. He's got to stay away from the pocket. I think that's where World Life is doing most of his work, is on the inside with a mirror comp. Bang, another left hook, another left hand lands, and That straight left hand has been game over's money punch, Kingsley.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to think in the eye test with the counters and everything, that's been working in Game Over's favor because the first round in the country box predictions, Game Over won that round. So something he's doing with the counters is definitely working. It's just War Life with the combinations that he's having in these sessions of the later rounds, it's just working so well for his benefit. But the like that with the jab, Game Over still has a chance in this fight, so he still needs to be consistent, but he needs to avoid these kind of trades.
Dang.
But now he's working. Now we're going back into a little bit of an aggressive brawl right here. But so far, Game Over still has a chance in this fight.
100%. And now you're seeing Game Over kind of staying at distance, popping him with his long jab and a straight, and then coming in for a single power punch and keeping that range so Word Life can't hit him. And you're seeing Game Over starting round number 6 very nicely here.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I want to see from Game Over is that instead of just going for the singular, like straight up to jump, going for the power shot, I want to see him go for that jab into a power shot, like trying to piece it up with a combination to like change up the momentum against your opponent. Because what Word Life is doing, every time he sees an opening, he's going combinations after combinations. If he's worried about one singular punch, that's easier to avoid here. But right now, with 40 seconds left, it's up to anyone who's going to make the landing combinations work.
100% agree with you. 100%. It's a great point to bring up, Kingsley, because he is kind of pop shot now here, Game Over. And if you would have thrown like the jab, jab, hook, the jab, jab, straight, a couple of combinations, a couple of flurries, it could catch Word Life off guard. But speaking of flurries, Kingsley, there's one from Word Life catching Game Over pretty heavy at the end of round number 6. That block being tested on Word Life, though. And we got a fight here, ladies and gentlemen, in the Esports Fight League. Let's go.
We've been going after the belt. This is how contested it is. Both guys are hungry for 2 points or even 3 points going to this contest. But what you saw from Josh Taylor, speaking of which, we've been completely wrong. One judge in the country box predictions has all last 3 rounds, 4, 5, and 6 for Game Over. So they're like what they've seen from Game Over. So the counters, the combinations, working with the jab has been proven in favor. So if you see that from Word Life, after all the work he's done so far with the combinations, you have to think that's a little concerning going to these later rounds. And you see now he is waking up. He is ready to press the button and detonate on his button with these power shots. We need to be worried about the counters here, Rob. This is going to be very concerning for both these competitors.
Yeah, Word Life came in and Game Over gave him a 2-piece right there. Word Life with a huge shot, 2 big punches, connects and hurts Game Over, and that's what he needed because Word Life sometimes is a little passive out there. He's got so many skills, so many abilities. His striking is top notch, but sometimes he kind of just stands there, lets his opponent get back into the fight, and that's what we're seeing right now. Game Over is able to get back into the fight, and Word Life needs to take over these rounds.
Yeah, and I feel like for Word Life, the comedy box predictions was the fear of God itself. Because when he saw it, was like, oh man, I'm doing really great with these combinations. Wait, you gave him the last 3 rounds? Okay, let me turn it up and get a rock. So you see him be a little bit more aggressive because he says, I cannot go 0-3 in this regular season. I need to find a way to get these points in with 1 minute under in the 7th round. Ooh. You see Word Life trying to go in, trying to find assistance, trying to work with the jabs a little bit, but Game Over, working well with his blocking, trying to attack the body a little bit, trying to move forward, trying to be aggressive. But again, combinations like that, just hurting the left side of Game Over. Word Life is just putting on his opponent now. He's turned up.
Oh, yeah, he's activated beautiful jabs, comboing off those jabs so beautifully. Now you're seeing Word Life start to turn up the heat, and that's what you want to see in a player like Word Life. Here's a beautiful flurry again. Word Life landing blow after blow as we enter in to round number 8, and I would think that Word Life definitely with the rock, Kingsley, with the combinations at the end, he's got to have taken round number 7.
You have to think, but again, there's 3 judges, and we're not any of them, so it could be going any other way with how they're going to be scoring all the counters, all the rocks, all the jabs, all the hooks that we've seen so far. But with 3 more rounds to go in this 10-round fight for 2 points, maybe possibly 3, this is big round if you want to make sure that you're still in this competition. And so far, Word Life trying to put on the pressure, trying to go to his opponent, work the hooks. The left hook has been his bread and butter. Will he try to attack the fight? Game Over. Trying to play a little bit of the outside, trying to use his combinations. Will he try to go for a power shot? But so far, distance game-wise, Game Over is working so well so far.
He's doing very well against a dangerous opponent in Word Life. And now that Word Life is starting to throw that jab, maybe Game Over can use some more of his movement to let that punch fly by and to counter. But Word Life looking good, popping, non-stopping. and he's looking for game over to start dropping.
Let's call him a b-boy in the 80s because all the movements is crazy. But oh, you see a vicious counter from Game Over working on his opponent.
Ooh.
Oh, but a body. That body will crumble if it takes more shots like that. But now approaching the halfway mark with 1:30 left in the 8th round so far. Warlife still trying to put on pressure, trying to find the counters. Gets hit with a counter again from Game Over. Game Over trying to find the range, trying to find the distance, trying to avoid the combinations from Warlife. Trying to find a jab. Oh, avoids a power shot for Warlife, but so far not trying to capitalize. Trying to work more of the outside now.
It seems like Game Over might be losing a little bit of stamina, a little bit of speed on these punches, and Warlife doing phenomenally, moving very well out here, and still just trying to put that jab out there and still digging to the body. And all that body work has paid off in these later rounds here, Kingsley.
Yeah, I mean, we saw 2 rocks to the face. The body shots will definitely help, especially in these later rounds, because the stamina is going to be in play. But so far, with 15 seconds left in this round, let's see who puts a exclamation point on this contest. And so far, Warlife gets hit with a vicious straight, but answers back with 2 right hooks, trying to land a hook again. And that will end with 2 rounds to go. And Rob, this is going to be very close going to these next 2 rounds.
It is a close one, isn't it, Kingsley? My goodness, here we go.
Oof.
Game Over and Warlife are putting on a show, opening up this card brilliantly. And I believe we're going into round number 9, a crucial round for both these guys. They need to lay claim to this round because it's very important. They're running out. It's only 2 rounds to go here, Kingsley.
You see Game Over, he is saying that he has an extra life, a 1-up to fight in this regular season, while Warlife trying to put the basic thugonomics on his opponent, trying to put a stamp that he belongs in this competition. So far, both guys trying to fight more on the outside, not at the center of the ring that we saw earlier in this fight. But so far, the combinations coming in from Warlife, trying to answer back with a range, able to land a right hook onto his opponent's face, but a counter again. That's been a move where Game Over is finding those opportunities to find the counters, and it's working so well. But with 2 minutes left, now he needs to put on the pressure because he can't rely on the judges and the scorecards.
You never can in this game, and you're seeing Game Over plotting forward, leaning in with that right hook, but a block high on Warlife. He's trying to stalk his prey. He wants to hurt him. He's trying his best to cut off the movement of... Oh, man, that pull counter was money right there for Game Over, though. He's starting to cook a little bit. Straight punch lands as well, and Warlife still plotting forward, digging to the body.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're going to hit me in the body and then go for a 3-piece combination to my head? All right, I'm going to answer back with some of my own. But so far, Warlife answering back with a nice body into a left hook while his opponent was moving. And it happened again. Both guys are slinging into the ring right now. And so far, this is a little bit more of the movement that we didn't see before in the early rounds. But so far, range game working so well with a nice right hook landing on Warlife, trying to answer back, trying to be more aggressive, leaning more forward to his opponent. But the sidesteps, the movement, but combinations hot and heavy from Warlife.
That's what you want to see from Warlife. Those combinations are brilliant. And you're seeing early in this round, Game Over having a lot of success with that power jab, you know, just popping them with a stinger. But then Warlife coming forward and throwing the nice little 4-punch, 5-punch flurry. Who scored more? I don't know. It's such a close round. It's going to be a tough one to judge. And here we go into the final round, 10 of 10, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what I think about your performance today, Kingsley. 10 out of 10.
Let's go. 11 out of 10 for you, Bruce Lee Rob, for being here and working everything. But as we see the copy box predictions, you don't want to be a judge because it's very much in Game Over's favor for one judge. But we'll have to see how Warlife responds. He was able to get 2 rocks in the early parts of the fight. Can he get a 3rd one? Can he finally get a knockdown that can make it a 10-8 round and possibly work in the favor of 2 other judges? But so far, Warlife trying to answer the call, trying to answer with the combinations. Game Over trying to find his way, trying to be as consistent as he can be. So far, working the range game a little bit, trying to work with his jabs, jab straights, trying to go in. But you see, every time they're going in, it seems like they're trying to work more to the body and then lead up to the head here, Rob.
For sure. They're definitely being very protective of their faculties. And, the body shots are being pursued by both these guys at this point. And it seems like Game Over feels like he's winning. He's kind of just jumping around, bouncing around, vibing out there, and just kind of popping out those long shots and a lot of movement. And Warlife probably needs to put on some pressure. And there's a couple big ones from the man, the myth, the legend that is Warlife.
You know, it's funny because we've seen this before back in week one with Pryoxis and JxShepp. This is giving me a little bit of deja vu when we see both guys. It seems like one person is winning, but the other one is doing a little bit better. This could possibly be a split decision or a draw, but we're under 1 minute left to put a pinpoint on this whole fight. They need to put the kitchen sink out. Their regular season lives are on the table here, and they need to figure out how are they going to get the win. But so far, game over. Trying to find his way, gets hit with a combination, lunges back, able to get some of his trade of his own. We're like trying to put on the pressure. 20 seconds left. Here we go, Rob. Let's see how it plays out.
Oh man, 10 seconds left. Word Life plotting forward with his block up, trying to find some sort of devastating shot. There it is, getting the knockdown in the final exchanges of this moment. Oh, big shots!
Oh, 1 second left. Oh, so close to a knockout, but doesn't get it. And the winner is game over.
Wow.
The Box prediction was right, and you have to feel for Word Life. Maybe that 10-8 round, 1 second left. You saw the sliver of the red bar being so close to possibly a knockdown. We'll have to see what the judges' scorecards were, and very close. Oh my goodness, 96 to 94 for two judges, 97 to 93 for, again, game over, unanimous decision. But you see, 4 through round 7 was the main plot for game over. Doing work in those middle rounds probably secured them the victory there.
Yeah, wow, what a performance by Game Over against a very dangerous player in Word Life. And man, it was just so close. By the skin of his teeth, he gets out of there, because if Word Life gets the drop right there, he was, the head health was so low. He was blinking. Word Life was trying, but unable to get it. That would have been a 10-8 round, and then we would have a different decision here. And it was Word Life landing the hardest punches in, I think, 3 rounds. He landed a vicious hook, and I think it was an uppercut in that last round. But man, the harder punches definitely landed by Word Life, Kingsley. But the person that won the most rounds was Game Over.
Yeah, and it seems like what we weren't seeing was just the range game, the jabs working to his benefit, working to the body. Even though he's getting hit with these like nice flashy combinations that like rocked him actually 3 times, it seems like the consistency of what Game Over was doing with his range game gave him the benefit of the doubt from the judges and was able to put it forward. So we'll have to see what Game Over does, because now he's in the thick of things. He's now in the 2-point pack with all these fighters trying to find his way back in. Now he has another week to recuperate and try to figure out a game plan where he needs to be a little bit more aggressive. But for Word Life, again, tough result. 0-3, had so many tough contests. He still is going to be a part of the competition, but again, this is where you have to be the ultimate underdog to find your way back in, because it's still possible he could get like 3 straight wins and he could be up to like 9 points. But again, with everything along with scoreboard watching, he needs a lot of things to be going his way here, Rob.
Yeah, 100%. It's a devastating start for Word Life. Has had tough opponents throughout, and big W for Game Over. And yeah, you could always explode and get three knockouts in a row, get 9 points. So never say never, Kingsley. Never say never.
Yeah, but never say never to this next fight, because our next fight is
Ooh.
ready to go as Roysten versus Pablo Grips. This is a very interesting matchup. Again, someone who has 2 points in Roysten, who is 1-1, going against Pablo Grips, who is 0-2, trying to avoid 0-3. What is the other things that we need to look out for from these previous weeks of these two competitors here, Rob?
You got to watch out for Pablo Grips. Even though he's 0-2, he did lose to JMMA in a very close decision in week 1, and then he was KO'd by Talent week 2. He really needs to get back on track here. He's a longtime ESFL vet, a very good striker. He had a very interesting strategy last week. He kind of just marinated in the corner. He stood there. That was his home. That was his sweet spot, but it didn't work out. We'll see what kind of adjustments he makes tonight. And Roysten has a win, 2 points in the bank. He was the last second replacement in week 1 and went to beat SVG-King12Diaz by decision. Teammates of the Toon Squad, Pryoxis, and JMMA, but he did lose to Pryoxis by decision in week 2. So Roysten with 2 points, ready to go. These two could be fun.
Yeah, one of our 2-point go-getters trying to get out of the 2-point pack and possibly move up to 4 points or possibly a maximum of 5 points. But as we see in the fire selection screen, Pablo Grips going with a Canelo Alvarez, which is going to be very interesting. We know that he works the body a lot and he works really well. But again, Joe Calazi, he's really good. He's 92 overall. We know that he has the range, he has the power, he has all the tools that you want in this kind of contest. So, you usually want to go with Canelo Alvarez because he's such a dominant fighter. But with Joe, the way he works in the game, it seems like this could be a pretty even matchup for both of these guys right here, Rob.
Yeah, and Joe's what, 6 feet tall,
Jeez.
73-inch reach. It's gonna be a lot. Calzaghe, Joe
Zaggy.
Calzaghe, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, Canelo Alvarez is gonna be fun to watch. He's got a lot of power and not too much movement, but devastating power. If you get in the inside, it's gonna be fantastic showing.
Yeah, hopefully Kozaki can do something for Royzen. But
Mm.
Pablo Gres, again, 0-2. You don't want to go 0-3. He needs to get a maximum 3 points or 2 points to stay in a regular season hunt for the Elite Eight top playoffs. But we'll have to see. Royzen, can he be 2-1 in this contest and possibly be up in the upper echelon? We'll have to find out. As again, Royzen in the blue corner going against Pablo Gres, who's in the red corner using Canelo Alvarez. And here we go. A little bit of a softer tone, not really a lot of ambiance, but we're here calling the action here. And so far, the body. Oh, sorry, the combination is going hot and heavy for Royzen. Royzen doing such a nice job, and this is what he wants to do. Use more of the jab straight, try to be more of a traditional boxer. Well, Canelo, while Pablo Gris, he probably needs to fight more in the inside, try to work on the body, but it seems like he's going more head hunting in the first start of this contest.
Yeah, I'm noticing right away the size difference for Joe Calzaghe against Alvarez. And dang, look at the range right now. He's connecting from way far away, outer space. Starting out pretty good here for Royzen, and Pablo's gonna have to adjust. He's gonna have to hop in, hop out, and be careful because these little punches are coming in fast.
Yeah, and you have to think he needs to come in because the range game is not going to play in his favor. But so far, Royzen is just doing a nice job with these hooks, able to go in it. Oh, look at this, just jab straights, but now able to answer back a little bit of fumble. Oh, but the combination. Oh my God, put your hands up. You can't hit. We're just finding a fumble here, Rob.
Oh man, they're throwing bombs right here. That
Oh
left
my,
hook
oh.
is being slung out. Pablo is willing to trade as Canelo Alvarez, but dude, that left hook is throw. I mean, he's flowing out there as Royzen.
It's just like
Oh
a,
man.
oh, put your hands up. I don't know what's happening. Maybe we have a little, is he just standing there or is it a little bit of a disconnection? It's unfamiliar. Seems like
Seems
it possibly is a controller issue because he's getting hit a lot. So hopefully Royzen, he's trying to be as respectful as you can in this situation, but sometimes you do. He's still throwing it. Maybe Rob he was playing possum a little bit, trying to hit his opponent into a thin layer of security.
yeah, that was pretty sweet right there. Ryzen didn't, annihilate him, didn't do too much damage, but he's like, I'm gonna hit you every now and then, just get this round
Yeah.
under the bag, charge your controller, bud. This is the esports fight league.
Yeah, but that's also a thing. Like, do you try to go the respectful route, or do you like, yeah, dude, I got to get this win. I got to find a way to like. Where do you lean on that like situation? Do you try to be more respectful, or do you try to go for the kill as soon as possible? Because there's nothing you could really do in that situation. And damned if you do, damn if you don't.
I liked what Royzen did. He was being respectful, but he punched him like 10 times in the face.
Yeah, and it wasn't like just 10 straight. It was just like boop boop. Ah, are you okay? Boop boop. Ah, all right. Then we'll just go straight to it.
Like,
Oh, you
hello,
hit
are
me
you
again. All
here?
right. Hello, housekeeping, please. Are you here? But going back into this contest, we're in the second round. We're going approaching the 2 minute mark right here. And Paulo Gris, even though he had a little bit of a delay in that first round, now he's working the buy, and this is where he needs to do. That's the favorable movement from Canelo Alvarez working the body. But again, every time he tries to get close, it seems like he gets hit with either a jab or a straight, and he can't really get close unless he's going to afford the trade.
Yeah, and every time he gets close, he's getting popped. Royzone is just letting these hands go, and he's landing accurately. And every time Pablo stands in the middle of the ring, he's just getting beat up. So he's got to figure out a different strategy here because standing there like a punching bag is not going to work here with 1 minute left.
Yeah, and again, this is the second round out of 10 rounds. So if I'm Royzen, if I see what I'm seeing from Pablo Gris, I'm thinking, okay, not only that I might get a unanimous
Ooh.
decision, but maybe with the combinations I could throw right now, I could possibly get a knockdown and a knockout, which would give me a benefit of 5 points. So we'll have to see what his thought process is going to the winding seconds of this last round. But so far, we see Pablo Grips. He's answering back. He's working the body, but gets countered with a nice straight from Kazaki. And I just want to see what Roysten can possibly do in the third round. I feel like he's really going to turn out knowing that Pablo Grips is not really at his best foot forward.
Right. Pablo being a little bit slow, seemingly methodical there. He's trying to like find his rhythm. He's always coming out with some interesting strategies in the Esports Fight League. Is what a genius, aka Pablo Grips, and Esports Fight League UFC veteran, was at the live event, and it just seems like Roysten has his number early though. I mean, he's just doing so well, Kingsley, with his punches, his accuracy, and there it is though. Some body shots coming early from Pablo. He's investing in those.
Yeah, he's investing, but he's getting invested in the face with those punches from Joe. And so far, he like every time. Look at this: counters, hooks, everything is happening. It's just like a punching back simulator. Like you remember the UFC like Connect Xbox game where he's just like a punching back was there. It just like, seems like he's just teeing up every single time on Pablo Grips, and I want to see Pablo Grips use more of his movement. But every time he's going in, he's just getting his head just moved like a bobblehead. And now the combination is going in a brawl, finding a phone booth. But look at the stamina that Roysten has to use every single time with these combinations. If he just use some of his block and maybe lunge it back, maybe he can enter back with a body shot. But so far, Roysten is just having his day against Pablo Grips.
Yeah, Roysten's having a good time out there. He's just connecting with that straight, throwing the hooks, just standing his ground and just letting his hands kind of fly at distance. He's got the range, so he's cooking with Aya right now, Kingsley.
Yeah, absolutely. Cooking in the kitchen, making a stir fry, mixing up the combinations, working the body, hitting the head with these hooks. I mean, look at this. The counters, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can count them, call them Sesame Street because he's just count them so many times. And it's just a nonstop barrage. He's like, if you're not gonna do anything different, I'm gonna hit you as many times as possible because I'm gonna try to go for the knockdown. And with 20 seconds left, he still has the opportunity to do more. And with whips like that from Pablo, he's just not working his benefit. But he's getting some strikes. I will admit, Pablo is getting some strikes, but with the combo. Wait a minute! The striking! Maybe Roysten got a little bit too careless, but that's a huge rock onto his opponent. We can't underestimate the power of Canelo Alvarez. My mistake, but that's huge going to this fourth round. As you see, the copy box in favor of Pablo Grips, even though he got hit so many times. That is huge for Pablo Grips right there, Rob.
Yeah, now his strategy starting to formulate before our eyes here. You know, he's just standing his ground, and it seems like he's just daring Roysten to let his hands fly, and he's eating so many punches here, but, managed to land a nice power shot and a couple good ones at the end of that round. And, yeah, the CompuBox judge does have it scored for Pablo, but, dude, Roysten is fighting his ass off this fight.
Yeah, but is he fighting his ass off way too much? Because we saw that stamina bar go a little bit low and he was still throwing. In these situations, Canelo is still chugging along, but he could do a lot more with a lot less strikes. So with Joe, he needs to be a little bit careful. Look at the power shots. And you see Roysten able to capitalize, but how much did that one punch do an effect onto Joe? Because right now, Pablo Grips is seeing that his strategy kind of worked. He was able to get a rock. He could go it again if it goes into another brawl situation. And going to the halfway mark of this fourth round, now we're seeing a little bit more of a brawl. That plays more in favor of Pablo Grips, but the power shot from Roysten, trying to find his way back in, trying to find the body. It seems like both guys are a little bit more hesitant, even though they want to go more into a brawl. But look at the straight shot from Canelo working right there, Rob.
Yeah, good shots by Pablo, and it seems like the first 2 minutes of the round, he kind of lets Roysten just just kind of lets him throw whatever he wants on him, and then at the end point of the round, he kind of stands his ground and starts throwing these power straights down the middle and really trying to connect with something devastating. It just seems like Roysten is just his volume is working out. It's gonna pay off in the long run, I think, unless Pablo can land some power shots.
Yeah, it'll be interesting with 10 seconds left. What is the health status of Roysten's character? Is it above 70? Is it below 60? We'll have to find out as the brawl still happens with 2-1 end of the round. We'll have to see what the stats are for Joe because he took a lot of damage. You see, he has a left swelling, one bar kind of fully in. I didn't see the red bar if you saw that, Rob, but it seemed like it was getting kind of low.
Yeah, getting kind of low. He looks pretty good though, for round 5 and for how much he's thrown. His stamina is pretty good. Joe Calzaghe must have a gas tank. And look at that.
Oh,
3 left hands in a row, and you saw the arm slowing down there.
Yeah, and that's what I'm very scared about for Roysten. He seems so confident because he knows he can get any strike he wants. Look at this. This is all free money to get these strikes off. But if you use so much stamina and then Canelo just hit you with a vicious body shot and just deteriorates
Ooh!
the stamina low, look at it. This is where he capitalizes. This could be a 200 IQ game plan for Pablo Grips because he's like, okay, I'll treat it like Rocky. You can hit me as many times as you want, Drago. I'm still going to come back and hit you with some devastating bombs right here. But so far, Roysten trying to fight in the center of the ring, trying to find his way back in, but the jabs, the straights for Pablo Grips are working to his benefit. He just needs to avoid the brawls and just find his way to get some more strikes to the body.
Yeah, he needs to because right now in round number 5, it's Roysten again just going to work, staying on his bike, throwing these punches nicely, and just landing again and again and again. And yeah, sure, Pablo's had some success. He's had the hardest punch, but can he replicate that in these rounds? Because he really needs to start getting these judges to score for him. And I don't know, Roysten's taking this round over again, Kingsley.
Yeah, we said it before, but again, he got rocked for his troubles for landing so many combinations. But look, it's just the combinations just look so
Oh,
good for Roysten. The hooks, the body shots. But every time Pablo gets close, he seems like he has an avenue. Oh my God. And he sees his opportunity to fight back, but he gets hit with a hook. And every single time, it just seems like it's going back and forth. Roysten trying to work with his distance, but he needs to avoid the phone booth fighting. The phone booth fighting seems to not be in his benefit. If he goes into the reach game, it seems like this is where his bread and butter is going to be laid out.
yeah, the bread and butter's on the toast. He's marinating his food right now. That is Pablo Grits. But one thing Royzen cannot do is he can't unload his full gas tank, stay in range when his short-term stamina is low, because that's why he got rocked earlier. So as long as he just stays defensively minded, throws his combinations, gets out of dodge when his stamina is low, he's going to be smooth sailing right now. But Pablo with the nice little straight there, Kingsley, he's still
Yeah,
throwing power.
yeah, it just becomes a contest of like if you're gonna put strawberry jam versus grape jam on your bread and butter. Because so
Oh
far in
man,
the
you're making
phone
me
booth,
hungry.
dude, I'm hungry too. I'm hungry for this competition. I'm hungry to see a knockdown in our undisputed week 3 season right here. It's so far with the body shots. Royzen doing such a nice job with the combinations, trying to move forward, but now Pablo Grips trying to enter back, trying to block a little bit, but again, every time he enters in, gets a right hook for his troubles, gets a hook, gets a straight for everyone's troubles. And so far, Joe pushing the pedal, trying to put on the gas on his opponent, but the straights are working so well, and the right hooks from Canelo are landing. And in the halfway point of this 6th round, we're in the later parts. It still could be anyone's fight. We'll find out what the copy box predictions will be in the 7th round. But so far, straight landing very nicely for Pablo Grips. Joe able to land his combinations, but now the range game. What's gonna happen? Oh, vicious right hook right there, Rob.
Oh man, that was nasty. And I'm loving Royce on here. I mean, his just willingness to let his hands go and his volume throughout this fight. I mean, he is every time Pablo gets inside of the wheelhouse, the range of Royce, and he is just letting his hands fly, and he's just a barrage every time is met by Pablo. And just exciting fight so far. Royce on fire here. Oh, watch out. That's straight
Oof.
every time is money for Pablo. That's his best punch so far in this round.
Yeah, a little bit of Rock of Sock'em Robots, just trying to go with straight punches to the face, trying to knock it off from the other side. Oh, but hooks landing again, and you saw 2 straight hooks coming in from Roysten. Roysten is trying to find
Oh,
opportunity, finds it, has 5 seconds left, trying to go consistently, goes to the close.
oh.
That's a timber for Roysten, getting the first knockdown of week 3. And Pablo Grips able to get a rock to the first opportunity, gets knocked down into a 5 count, and that will end the round as we go to round 7. But that's a huge 10-8 round for Roysten going to the next round.
Just a big momentum swing, a huge moment for Royzen. And now that, I mean, look right there, 10-8.
Oh,
He really
wow.
needed it. That round 5 was scored in the favor of Pablo, but now he has house money. He knows that his game plan is working, and he's seen the fruits of his labors there in that last round. And this time, he's even more confident. Round number 7. So what Pablo
Oh,
needs to do? Oh my
you just
goodness, he's not going to do
left,
anything.
just
Roy's on
left,
fire,
right.
putting on the pressure, putting on the blows. Here he comes, Kingsley.
He's like a grizzly bear, just left, right, just trying to say like he wants his fish and he wants to eat it too. Wants everything in his arsenal to get the hungry 2 points. But so far, Royzen, he's seeing his opponent not really getting the full advantage of his block. And while Pablo grips, he's getting hit again. This is the phone booth where he's willing to trade, but it's not working to his benefit. I have not seen any adaptability for Pablo grips, and he's getting punished every single time for it. He tries to go for straight, but he used so much of his stamina that he can't counter back.
Yeah, he's in some trouble here. He's in some trouble. Look at these punches again and again, just tagging him, Roysten all over him here. And Pablo just needs to get out of there. He's trying to get inside and throw some shots, but Roysten just keeps connecting again and again with some great shots.
Ooh.
That left hook has been money for him all fight.
Yeah, but a great sequence from Pablo Grips just a moment ago, trying to enter back. He's getting a nice jab strikes into the hooks. He needs to do a little bit more of that, trying to reach or read the range of the distance from Roysten. But Roysten trying to answer back, gets it to the hook, almost into the phone booth fighting again. He's going for it again, trying to go for the hooks. And not using much stamina. He knows he has 25 seconds left. He wants to do it. He wants to attack his opponent. Now the brawl is happening again, and Pablo Grips using the streets, which is working. He's connecting a little bit quicker, but again, the combinations are just going so fluidity from Roysten that it's hard to like answer back as we're approaching the 8th round right here as we end the 7th round here, Rob.
Beautiful work from Roysten. I mean, he is just on his bicycle. He is just destroying Pablo Grips here. He's fighting phenomenally, and Pablo Grips, very interesting strategies employing. He's coming out, has his block up, eats like 3 or 4 punches, and then, it just seems like he just is okay with getting hit here, and he's trying to figure out a way to land that devastating power. But in doing so, he's just getting destroyed out here, and he needs to get a knockout. And there it is again, a huge shot, Kingsley.
Huge shot, a huge rock, trying to enter with a straight. He needs to cover up. He can, and he will down. Timber number 2 for Roysten. And now Pablo Grips, can he find his way to go back up? He's already at the 7th count. Now uses the full 8. Comes up at 7. He still has time in this round, and Roysten is smelling blood in the water. He is smelling the whole sea, the whole ocean, knowing that a knockout is coming if he doesn't have his opponent blocked. And you see the pressure moving forward. Still 135 left. Again, the body sees his opponent on the ropes, tries to go for a power shot, not able to fully connect. And Canelo will still survive, but Pablo needs to find a way to answer back here, Rob.
He does, because the bell has been rung again and again on the dome piece of what a genius. Pablo Grips is in so much trouble right now, and Roy's season is feeling good. All that work he put in these early rounds, the head health damage is just looking phenomenal, and now the chin of Alvarez is low. He cannot take too many more of these punches, and it's Roysten on fire right now in round number 8, looking like he could close the show.
And you know what? The main question from Roysten is after that first rock that happened to him is, will you keep that same energy? For Roysten, it was an absolute yes. For Pablo Grips, it was a yes, but there was a caveat. He was going to get hit so many times. We possibly might even see a cut on Canelo as his face is so red from all the punches and bunches as we approach the next round, and just fighting after the bell a little bit. And you can see the face just so busted up, so much swelling on the face, that this round is going to be very crucial for Roysten if he can get the knockdown.
Yes, he is in pursuit of the finish. He wants that point. He knows he's up here, but he wants 3 points, ladies and gentlemen. And here Pablo is back against the wall. He's like a caged liger with rabies, and he needs to bite down his mouthpiece. He needs to have some wherewithal. He can't just let himself be beat down. He's got to find something.
Yeah, he's got to find something. He's got to find the heart. He's got to find the strategy to answer back. Oh, but a good counter from Pablo. Pablo doing such a nice job. But again, the phone booth fighting gets hit with a 3-piece combination. And you see him, he's leading with the power straight. And that's not working to his benefit. He keeps on doing it. That's his only answer. And he's getting hit with vicious combinations from Roysten, knowing that he has the range. He can avoid the straights as much as he wants. And you see him, a nice jab, countering again, left, right, landing again and again. 130 left in the 9th round, trying to go for the finish, trying to get the knockout again. So many times the punches are coming in for Roysten. What does he have to do to knock this guy out? I don't know here, Rob.
He is all over him here, Kingsley, and he is just throwing a beautiful flurry. He's got the foot on the gas, and here it is. This could be it. And oh my goodness, ding dong bang bong, he's down.
So salute to the fallen, because he's fallen down for a third straight time. It'll be a miracle if he's able to get back up. But Roysten with a 10 count gets the maximum 3 points, and that puts him up to 5 points, which puts him into the upper room of the standings, because that's a huge result for Roysten.
That was a beautiful, dominant performance by Roysten. I mean, from the opening bell, from round number 1, he was all over Pablo. His willingness to throw, to let his hands go, to not be afraid of Canelo's power, and it was a very interesting strategy by Pablo. He always comes out with these very peculiar strategies that he formulates here. You know, last week he stood in the corner. This week he kind of just stood there and let his opponent kind of tee off on him. He did have a good moment in that first fight, and he always seems to have a really good moment even against JMMA in their first fight. When JMMA was Tyson Fury, he dropped him with a straight down the pipe. But wow, Roysten is active out there, is he not, Kingsley? Beautiful performance.
He fought like his regular season life was dependent on it, and he showed up and showed out. Kudos for Pablo Grips for staying in there, trying to fight his own fight, but it was just too much barrage damage onto his opponent. And from the first round, it just didn't seem like it was gonna go his way. But for Roysten, that's a huge 3 points, and along with the KO bounty for every knockout, he gets a little something. So that's huge for his pocketbooks and for his regular season standings. Because again, we're still fighting for a actual title belt and some monetary value. So a lot of things on the line for all these competitors. But before we get into our next couple of fights, Rob, we gotta talk to the people one time. We gotta talk to the people in chat, because the commercial food equipment service industry is absolutely booming. You can start a career in this field without even going to college and make some amazing money. If you want to learn more, please learn at www.cfesa.com or scan one of the QR codes shown during today's broadcast to get more information and apply for the CFESA Service Hero Scholarship. Thank you for the CFESA for sponsoring us and helping us out with everything ESFL. We appreciate you guys. But Rob, we are going into our next amazing matchup. And this one is a big one, because we have both people who have points, talent with 3 points, 1-1 with a knockout, going against JMMA, who is looking to bounce back with only 2 points here, Rob.
Yeah, this is a big one. These all are big ones here in the Sport Fight League, Kingsley, but this is a key matchup because this is teammate of Pryoxis. This is a two squad representative. That's JMMA. 2 points, 1-1, like you said. Huge comeback week 1 to secure the decision victory over Pablo Grips, who we just saw, and now talent. Only KO of week 2 in his win. Both these guys have beaten Pablo Grips. Talent lost to Addict, who we'll see fight in the main event tonight. Both guys very good. Talent is a KO artist, so both gentlemen looking for a big win here to push themselves up. So very key matchup. And let's talk about these picks. We're gonna see Joe Calzaghe.
Calzaghe.
Joe Calzaghe again from Uncle Talent. Oh, but JMMA, that's a solid pick. Roy Jones Jr. He's hard to beat. He's
very hard to beat in JMMA. We know that from coming off the high of the first week, going in a huge comeback victory against Pablo Grips, now going to this contest after a loss, you have to think he is super motivated. And knowing that Roysten just got full 3 points and going to 5 points, you have to think there's going to be a lot of pressure getting out of the 2 point pack and possibly moving up. While Talent, do you try to fight for the decision win, or do you go for the full knockout? Because if you get 6 points, then you're the #1 leader. You're the #1 seed in the Elite 8 playoff. So a lot of things are right on the line. These are one of our consequential matchups in week 3. So Roy Jones Jr., you know the movement, you know the power, you know the shimmy. Joe Calzaghe, you saw what he could do. Tall as all hell, power and dynamite in his hands, and the reach game impeccable. This is a battle of who can adapt to each other's styles, and we'll have to find out who's going to get the benefit of the doubt in this next matchup of our third of all 8 matchups here, Rob.
And I'm very interested to see how JMMA decides to utilize Roy Jones Jr. because he always loves to kind of fight off his back foot, rely on his counter punching and his devastating ability to really dropped some accurate shots on his opponent, but Uncle Talent ain't no joke. And we just saw how good Joe Calzaghe he is in his combinations, his distance. He's a good guy. You know, he's a talented fighter. And Uncle Talent is a beast as well.
Yeah, Uncle Talent is absolutely a beast, but along with the difference with Roy Jones Jr., he's a little bit taller than Canelo Alvarez. Even though he doesn't have the many body power shots, it seems like Roy Jones Jr. is going to be able to match him in some ways when it comes to the reach game and just a level of heightness. So it doesn't seem like a daunting task to try to go inside and fight against your opponent. So with JMMA taking the solo approach, able to get a nice 1-2 on to Uncle Talent. Talent needs to find a way to answer back because now he's getting hit with jabs. Try to go for a back step straight, able to land a little bit. But so far, a kind of different kind of change of pace. Not fully a fight, but more of a technical boxing match that we're seeing in this contest here, Rob.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Technical boxing match. JMMA kind of relying on that modified Roy Jones Philly. And Uncle Talent just kind of walking him down and pop-shotting him. Pop-shotting him, landing well, opening up. Nice hook again. And scoring early in this round number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. The name of the game is scoring. It's like fencing. You want to get the points racked up in the judges' eyes, in the judges' views, because that's all that matters if you're not going to get the KO victory. But so far, you see JMMA taking more of the center of the ring, able to land a nice straight to his opponent, trying to work the body a little bit. But so far, Talent able to answer with the jabs of his own, trying to work when he sees his opponent go to the body. He works straight to the head, and with the end of the first round, it's going to be close to how they score it. But so far, not really any opponents taking damage, just more of the scoring that you saw from previous contests weeks prior.
Yeah, round number 1 for Uncle Talent, I believe he just kind of threw more punches, landed more punches. That was definitely just a round to monitor for JMMA. He's just looking to see what his opponent's going to do, what sort of game plan is he employing, and that's what the Toon Squad's so good at. They start real slow, and then they build as the fight progresses. So we'll see JMMA getting more and more aggressive as the fight ensues.
Yeah, just trying to analyze the data, try to read all the cards, all the coding to get his opponent read fully and have it all. Just have all downloads. I love the sound effects. But so far, we need to see what can Talent do. If he knows his opponent's going to start slow, will he try to force the pressure a little bit, or will he try to match the same tempo as JMMA? This is the thing we have to see. But a nice go into the straps, into the body from JMMA. So far, you see him be a little bit lax of going into his opponent, but also taking the time to like just stay patient before he can go for a strike. Because you see him going in, he's still blocking, but he's taking a beat before he goes into his combination there, Rob.
I'm seeing that too. Uncle Talent's kind of just plodding forward, not really being too defensively minded, and JMMA is going to start capitalizing it. You're already seeing opening him up more and more as we get through this round. And yeah, Uncle Talent's got to watch out because Jay's really good at devastating with clinical, precise combinations. But Uncle Talent, he looks like he's comfortable out there, and he's feeling pretty good. He's throwing and he's fighting well.
Yeah, I just want to see. I saw him trying to land an uppercut. I feel like that move will be open against JMMA. He just needs to find the right timing. Maybe trying to lead up, like right there. If he has the 1-2 with the jab, trying to land an uppercut right there, because no one's really fully expecting. If you're trying to lunge back, trying to make him go to that so you can open up the hooks a little bit more. But you see Talent trying to move closer, trying to put his opponent a little bit to the corner so he's not able to move, trying to cut the ring off. And that's going to be huge important things in these later rounds, trying to cut off the ring with JMMA so he doesn't get his movement going.
Yeah, JMMA starting to land that 1-2, timing that shot really well. And we saw a lot more looks from JMMA that time. I'm seeing him making these reads, and Uncle Talent needs to be careful not to just clumsily push in, like you were saying, Kingsley. He's got to be very defensively minded against someone so talented and utilizing such an explosive player that is Roy Jones Jr. He's got to be careful, but could be that. I mean, that last round very close.
Yeah, absolutely. And like leading more onto your point right there, what I'm seeing from Talent is see like a little bit of the UFC reaction, because you remember in UFC 4 and our other regular season, huh?
You see that little twirl?
Oh no, I did. I was just going to my whole diatribe, but I guess we're have like a ballerina in the ring. That's amazing. I love ballet. But so
yeah,
far,
go ahead, Kingsley. Sorry to interrupt you.
What I'm seeing from Talent is that I hope he doesn't predictably like try to launch back and then go for a strike, because I feel like that's what people used to do in the UFC. But with boxing, it's kind of, you need to change up your timing. because that's easily punishable. You find like the right timing. Because you see JMMA, he's working to the body, he's working to the head. There's no way chance that you can just run back and go for a takedown. You need to find a way to land your strikes cleanly and precisely. You know, I'm seeing from that JMMA is doing such a nice job, but Talent, he's able to answer back, but we're getting to the halfway mark of this round. Now, I still don't know how the judges are going to score these past rounds.
It's hard to know, huh, Kingsley, what they're thinking. The defense is looking pretty good on JMMA. It doesn't seem like Uncle Talent. Hey, look at him. He's just kind of right in front of him. He's so close with his block up, kind of daring these exchanges, but he's not able to bait JMMA. JMMA just electing to keep moving with Roy Jones, and when he's ready to throw his punches, he's throwing them. But Uncle Talent, landing here and there. So closely exchanged rounds here so far.
Yeah, I would just love to see Uncle Talent, if he has his opponent on the ropes and he's cutting off, like, if he's going to the right, that's how you'd have to do. Just cut him off, try to meet at the point, and then get aggressive. Make sure you cut him at the end point. It's just like a receiver in the NFL. If you're a quarterback, try to beat him to the point so you can land your execution and just block the ball. So far for JMMA, every time he's going to the right, I haven't seen him go left at any moment. So maybe that's a read that Talent's picking up. As soon as I said that, he goes to the left.
Good hooks, good left hooks from Talent. Nice little right hand as well. And JMMA really moving left and right, staying off that center line, making it hard for Uncle Talent to land those straight punches and the jabs. There is the combi box score. What do we think about that one, Kingsley?
You know what, with JMMA, with the way he's working this movement, I like what he's doing, but that's a DC right there. And I don't know what happened with JMMA, but I'm sure we'll find out as we're going to go back to the commentary screen. But Rob, that's kind of a little bit deflated for JMMA because we just saw the Copy Box prediction score, and it was 2-1 in favor of JMMA. So that's a huge, huge blow, especially for the regular standings.
Yeah, but based on the former precedents, I probably am gonna guess that they're going to run that back at some point today. It seems like in this game there's always that random disconnect, unfortunately. But yeah, he was up one, and it was a good showing for both these guys. And it looked like as the fight was heating up in that round number 3, it seemed like Jay was starting to really find his rhythm, and that's what makes those Toon Squad athletes so dangerous, is their ability to make reads early, stay cool, calm, collected, stay patient, and really start formulating game plans
Now
quickly.
that's a curious thing because last week we had to deal with this situation before, and you were there.
I was.
What did you think? Unless for JMMA, we talked about like his slow ramp of being along with the Toon Squad and trying to download his opponent. With running it back, would that cause him to go a little bit like forward with his plan? Will he try to like expedite the process of doing that? Go into a running back situation, or would you just feel like he would do the same thing again as he did before? Because now everything's on tape. You already have a feel against your opponent. Would you have to try to play it out the same way you did before, or will you try to like push the pressure a little bit here, Rob?
Well, I think it's a blessing for Uncle Talent because he's going to be able to tell what kind of game plan um, JMMA is going to employ. He's going to start out slow. He was kind of starting to lose a little bit, so it's kind of like a get out of jail free card. It's kind of like a reset. But that being said, JMMA is so good, and he trains with Pryoxis, and I know that they are going to be making adjustments no matter what happens, what their opponent's throwing at them. So I don't think it really matters when you're dealing with someone as talented as JMMA. I think he's just gonna figure out his way to the finish line and get that victory. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And again, it'll be the same characters as they're still trying to figure out how to get into our selection screen. We're still on the process of doing that. But going back into the fire selections, Roy Jones Jr. seemed to be a perfect pick for what JMMA wanted to do. While Joe Kazagi, if I hopefully I said that right again, um,
Perfect.
Joe, it seemed like every time he came in close and working with the movement, he was able to get some strikes out, but the body shots from Roy Jones Jr. was able to work very nicely and able to get his combinations. Do you feel like we'll see more of that go into this contest, or will you feel like he tried to change up his strategy a little bit more, maybe attack the body a little bit more on the Joe side with Uncle Talent?
Yeah, you really gotta focus on the movement of JMMA. He's moving very very good left and right, really staying off that center line and Talent needs to recognize that those body shots could be there, and with that Philly shell from Roy Jones Jr. or whatever modified Philly shell, that opens up the left side of his face. So that's definitely something he's got to worry about. He's really relying on that block, but the body, he's covering the body in that defense. So it's going to be hard for Talent to land those body shots. But yes, I agree, Kingsley. He's got to find a way to cut off the left and right footwork and try to create a stationary target and really throw something nice, because I didn't really like when Talent was coming forward with his block up. Sometimes he didn't even have his block up. He was just like in the face, like, yo, Mir, hit me. And against a guy like Jay with Roy Jones Jr., that could be a recipe for death.
But you know what's a recipe for success?
What?
Following the Twitch channel and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Our
Ooh,
library. You love
the
that segue?
segue.
That's what we do here. That's why we are in the booth here again. I'm Kingsley. Rob is alongside me. We're here for Undisputed season for the ESFL on Group 3, sponsored by the CFESA. We are thankful for them to being sponsors. But again, if you miss out any of the past 2 weeks that we have for the Undisputed season, our new season and a new game, usually we do UFC and sometimes WWE, ESFLW, where you at? Shout out. We have all the amazing contests that we've done before. A lot of amazing calls Frank did last week with Rob. It was such an amazing card. I recommend that you check out all our library of all of our content on the YouTube side. And then also, if you want to sub to the Twitch or follow, you get a lot of great content as well, ladies and gentlemen. And then also, if you want to be a part of it, if you say, hey, I could do better than that guy, I bet I could jab his face off. Join our Discord and be sure to be in the know for every single time that we have events or things coming up in the future. You never know when we're going to have more things along in the future, and it's only going to get bigger and better as we go back into the into the screen where we see that we're going to get ready for our rematch or the run back of this contest. Rob, you have to be excited that at least they're getting another chance to run it back.
Yeah, I'm very, very intrigued to see how this fight plays out. I was watching the story unfold, and now the book has been closed, but we are about to reopen it again from page 1. And here we go. Looks like Uncle Talent's now on the left side of the screen. Let's see how that changes things, because depending on which corner you're in, it definitely, whether you're on the left or on the right, it actually has an impact mentally in the fight.
Yeah, and that's like so many things that have to do with, along with the ESFL spotlight, along with trying to face your opponent, along with the tape that you have. Now you have like another little thing to throw you off of your game. This is another challenge that both of these guys are going to have to work through, especially with Uncle Talent being 3 points clear going against JMA, who only has 2 points. So JMA is trying to get away with the 2-point pack and possibly move up into the top 8, while Talent, he needs to find his way to increase that lead. But so far, we're going back into the first round, and it seems like we're seeing more of the similar technique that we saw in like the first onslaught of the first fight. It seems like JMA is feeling good about just his movement, but needs to watch out for the counters there, Rob.
Always got to watch out for those counters. And look at JMMA just moving left, moving right. Uncle Talent needs to find a way to cut off JMMA. Hard to do in Undisputed, to cut off your opponent, unlike UFC. And right now, again, in round number 1, he's opening up pretty nicely. Ooh, beautiful little pullback counter there. And both these guys having a little bit of a moment.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a slide. It wasn't like the full lunge back. It was like a full slide. It was like boop, boop. Just like some you would see like in martial arts movies, like I'm gonna hit your pressure points and just like hit you like boop, 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 boop. It just works so well for Uncle Talent, but now it's up to JMMA. What can he do in these situations? He's gonna try to block it, and he's gonna be as patient as he possibly can. And with 8 seconds left, he could probably put a pinpoint on this round, but he's just gonna wait till his opponent goes in, try to land a straight, lands a hook. But so far, looking well with the counters from Uncle Talent. This is a good start, and the fact that he has 100 and 100 both sides going to the second round, that's to be feeling good for Uncle Talent.
Yeah, for sure. To have full stamina and full head held is always good. A very slow opening round number 1 between these two, and now Jay's strategy is kind of out there. Uncle Talent knows what he wants to do, at least early in the fight. Who knows how Jay's going to develop his strategy, but right now Uncle Talent is being a little bit more patient than he was in the first fight and still just popping him with that jab.
Yeah, but I'm like what JMA is doing. You see, when he saw his opponent trying to use these combinations, he was like, "Oh, you can hit me 2 times. I'm gonna have my block up. I'm gonna hit you to the body. I'm gonna work on areas where you're open and free, and I can hit you where I can." But right now, we're seeing Uncle Talent. He's able to answer back. He was able to get the counter, and the right hooks are landing kind of flush, even though he has that block up. But the fact that he's working with the movement, it's a good game plan so far. But what is up to JMA? What can he possibly do to counteract? He's trying to find his way back, but the counters are landing again for Uncle Talent.
They are. That jab is popping, Jay, again and again, and that left hook as well. You know, Jay does have that block up, but still the head getting snapped back a little bit there. And so round number 2 is looking pretty dang good for Uncle Talent. Oh, big shot! Followed by a flurry there.
It's like when you have to take a second because you just got hit so hard that you need to reassess your whole life to get back into the contest. But for Jay, he was able to answer back. It seems like he's working more towards the body, trying to drain the stamina of Joe Kazagi. And Talent is doing such a nice job trying to answer back. But again, the left hook working well. The jabs are working nice for JMA. But again, the fumble fighting seems to benefit more into Talent's specialty in this fight.
Yeah, Uncle Talent's just throwing more punches. He's just being more active. He's got a higher volume, and JMMA is seemingly conceding this round to Uncle Talent early. Probably just making a download of what he's throwing at him and formulating a strategy to go into later rounds. But one thing you got to say, Kingsley, is that's another round for Uncle Talent, in my opinion.
We'll have to see. Hopefully the next round will give us a firm prediction to see what the judges are going to score it. But you never know. Maybe they're looking forward to more precision strikes rather than combinations or more heavy traffic. We'll have to see what judges are thinking about in this contest. But so far, we see Talent. He's getting the benefit of the combinations. Oh, but a nice straight into the face of Talent. That's going to do wonders for Jay. And Jay is now picking his part as his opponent. We saw uppercut land. He's trying to work his way through, trying to work the body. But now he's going more of a loose stance. And that's maybe he's trying to gain a little bit more distance in this situation, going to switching his loose standings.
Yeah, he's got to be careful that he doesn't get out pointed. And oh, look at these shots right there, Kingsley. I mean, Uncle Talent, his willingness to let it go, to let it fly is something to be said. And he's all over JMMA right now in this round number 3.
Yeah, it's just the straights, the jabs are working really well. And the fact that he's lunging forward, not trying to full lunge back. Oh! Brawl leads into just chaos for JMMA. And now Talent trying to find his way to get a 10-8 round, but not going to be able to do a chance. Good blocking for JMMA. And that's what we were talking about, Rob. The answers, the counters, the striking into the phone booth has been working so well for Talent. And the straight, just the bop, just working so well for him. But the answering back for JMA needs to be very nice, because with 40 seconds left on the round clock, this is where he needs to answer back fully.
He definitely needs to be careful. He definitely needs to answer back. This round number 3 is not going in the way of JMMA, and he probably knows that. So round number 4, he's got a lot of rounds to play with, and that's undisputed. You got time to make these crazy adjustments. But right now, Uncle Talent is really starting out this fight really good. Round number 2, he fought well. Round number 3, almost got a knockdown, and I believe he's beating up Jay here in this fight.
Oh, that was exclamation point on the end of the round. But again, JMMA, we know that he's a part of the Toon Squad. He worked with Pryoxis. He's part of that group. He knows how to adapt and how to change up his play style in the works of this contest. So it's up to Talent what he could do to keep the same energy. And the judges are keeping that same energy with the scorecards being 10s all across the board for one judge as it's 30-27. And now it's up to JMMA. What can he possibly do? What can he find a way to work his avenues of pain onto his opponent? And you see the combinations are coming out more from JMMA.
They are, and that's what he's going to need to do, is have a little bit more activity, unless he's just trying to set up a knockout punch, and he has the skills to do that as well. But Uncle Talent with a devastating digging body shot there, and Uncle Talent just really being aggressive, and that's winning him this fight, just his activity.
Yeah, you could define his strategy as like suffocating a little bit, not really
Mm,
giving
yes.
JMMA much time to breathe or move around in the ring. Every time you see him take a step back, Joe is already in his face in the phone booth. And look at the combinations, the left, the rights,
Ooh.
working onto the head of JMMA, while Talent is just saying, all right, you need to do a lot to get rid of me. You better like sling some shots because I'm going to be in your face all day, every day in this contest here, Rob.
Definitely. And it's an interesting strategy here being employed by Jay. Uncle Talent is really throwing a lot of shots. He's using a lot of energy here in these early
Very.
rounds, but he's getting them. You know, the juice is worth the squeeze, and that's what you want when you're playing these types of games. Like if you know, really put the gas pedal early, you want some compensation for that, and that's the judges giving you these early rounds. Now, that's with that being said, later in the rounds, number 7, 8, 9, and 10, those are gonna be crucial rounds for JMMA. But so far, so good for Uncle Talent early here, Kingsley.
Yeah, and you can see Uncle Talon just like moments ago just switch his stance, trying to change up the equation to JMMA. And with 5 seconds left, just getting hit up again. JMMA has a lot to contest to, especially with like, you have to think back. In the first contest, he was up 2 rounds to 1. Now in this situation,
A
oh,
little bit
and
of
it
dance
seems
moves right
like
now. Shimmy shake.
shimmy shake, and we don't see, and we see another unfortunate DC. And we're trying to get word from the bag of what we're going to be dealing with this situation. But again, from the whole contest, in its whole standpoint, Uncle Talon seemed like he was finding his rhythm throughout all single rounds. But funny enough, JMA got that fourth round, so he was able to adapt to get 1 round back. But it seemed like Uncle Talon was having his way in the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely was. Look, 77% stamina. JMMA 93% stamina. Ah, man, I really wanted to see this fight
Mm.
play out because it's like a story of a fighter really investing early into the rounds, but can he survive and withstand those later rounds stamina wise? And 68% head health for JMMA. So the work was being done, the damage was being dished out by Uncle Talent. You know, a fantastic second fight. Unfortunate that we don't get to see that one play out.
Very, very unfortunate, and hopefully we'll get word in the bag of how they're gonna deal with this kind of situation. But again, that's a very consequential matchup because Talent had 3 points. He had 1 win, 1 loss with a knockout, while JMA he was 1-1 with 2 points. So it's gonna be very crucial how we decide to handle this because this could impact how the playoffs are gonna be ran because it's only the top 8. So there's only a limited amount of spots going into the playoffs along with the regular season. And there's only 7 weeks. So, along with this bye week that we're going to be having next, there's a lot of things in play. But speaking of things in play here, Rob, we're going to jump into our next matchup, which is going to be another crazy matchup. It's going to be Loso with 4 points going against Bone doing work again. And with this matchup, what do you expect from this kind of matchup going into this contest in the welterweight division?
It's gonna be a heated matchup. Lozo, 2 wins, no losses, undefeated, 4 points. One of the front runners for this belt in this season. Defeated K Young Butter, a very dangerous opponent. We're gonna see fight next against Job. And beat JMMA, who we just saw fight. We saw his defensive skills by decision in week 2. However, Bone doing work, beat Word Life in Fight of the Night contender in week 1, but lost to Addict, who's in the main event.
Mm.
Bone doing work 1-1. Kingsley, these guys are really, really skilled. And looks like we're gonna have Sugar Ray Robinson for Bone doing work and Sugar Ray Leonard for Lozo. This fight is feeling and tasting a little sweet.
It's feeling a little bit sweet, but you know what's gonna be sweeter is when you guys in the chat on Twitch and on YouTube put your channel points in, put your predictions in the chat to see who you think is gonna win this contest. Because again, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, top of the 2 players or the fighters in the welterweight division. We know that they have high stats, and they're Hall of Famers. But Bone doing work, Loso trying to find his way to be staying undefeated. He could be 3-0 and have 6 points clear or possibly 7. So a lot of big things. He could probably jump to the number 1 seed if he wants to. Bone doing work. We know that he was a fight night contender in week 1. And that's going to be very big if he could continue again and continue the pace of being a fighting night contender, but also get a win in that situation as well. So, Rob, I remember seeing this matchup all the time in ring, but I don't know fully what we can expect in this kind of contest. I feel like we might see a similar type of style go into this matchup.
Similar to the fight that we just watched.
Yeah, similar. If it's similar of like, Leonard and Ray Robinson, can they find this right strategy to
Right.
face against each other? We know that Loso, he has very good technical power, but Bones and Work, he's all about the fights and the brawls and everything. But with these two fighters like Robinson and Leonard, it's kind of similar in their kind of abilities with overalls.
100%. Yes, they're both very, very fast twitch abilities, good gas tanks. They're going to be moving all over that ring right now. And you see these two are definitely experienced fighters here. I didn't get to see the reach, unfortunately, but here we go. Loso versus Bone Doing Work, the KO King. I'm ready to go.
Oh, this is going to be very interesting. Again, this is very, very consequential. Loso, 4 points. Bone Doing Work, only 2 points, part of the 2-point pack. Can he move out of the pack and move on up to the bigger side of the top seeds? This is going to be big, and you can see the introductions. You can see the entrances. This has a big fight filled because it is a big fight. Points are on the line, an actual title is on the line, and you want to make it to the playoffs because you want to get some dinero at the end of this. You don't want to make sure that's all for nothing. You want to make sure that you get some out of this under the spotlight. And as you see, both fighters very much in their corners. They're taking their time. They're trying to embrace the moment here, Rob. We'll have to see how they play out. I feel like they might go a little bit aggressive than what we've seen before in previous fights.
I hope so. I hope so. That will be that'd be quite the treat. Let's find out. Opening bell is rung. Loso taking command of the ring early, and it looks like Bone Doing Work, popping some jabs. Nice body shots as well. Vicious body shots.
Yeah, and here comes the fight from Bone Doing Work again on the blue side, using Sugar Ray Robinson on the right, while Sugar Ray Leonard is being used by Loso on the red corner on the left. And so far, this is where Bone Doing Work likes to fight, right? The aggressiveness, the brawling style. Well, Loso, he has to defend a little bit and trying to find his technical prowess because he's getting some combinations. You saw the jab, you saw the straights working so well, and the body's in a nice uppercut landing with under 2 minutes now. This is going to be a battle of styles here, Rob.
Oh, man. Yes, it is. And they are styling on each other right now, opening up quickly. Loso standing right into the face of Bone Doing Work, who was dropping some good body shots early. And look at the left hook, snapping back. Bone Doing Work. Bone Doing Work got to be careful that his stamina is there for him.
No blocking needed. Swing and bang, it's the name of the game. And you can already see it with the hooks coming in like just fast and heavy. And so far, we see a little bit of Lawrence back trying to work in the corner, but a nice counter. And both guys are entering back with hooks of their own. And so far, I feel like we're not even going to even reach the 5th round by the way these guys are fighting, because it's just a nonstop brawl here, Rob.
Not even the 5th round. Okay, let's go. It's going to be an early night, but yeah,
that'll be my
agreed. Look at the stamina right now on Bone Doing Work.
Oh, geez.
It's just getting eaten away. I mean, it's just withering away right before our eyes. And Loso is all over him. Pressure tank. It's the Shark Tank.
Oh, God. Nobody, well, they're going to be invested. I know the chat is invested in this whole contest right here, but less than 7 seconds left in this first round. This is still the first round, and we're still brawling into the fumble. Has anyone took like a full step back and trying to reassess everything? We have to look. We're already at 89% health for Bone Doing Work and lower than that for the stamina. So he needs to finish this real quick if he's going against Loso, because Loso, I feel like he's going to keep the same energy throughout these rounds and try to be as consistent as he can be here, Rob.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Bone Doing Work has to be very careful with his stamina management. I mean, a couple exchanges in that last round, you kind of saw him just throwing everything out, and his stamina depleted all the way to 0. And Loso's right there ready to counter and ready to devastate with that pressure. So yeah, round number 2, he's got to be better. He's got to be better round number 2. Loso doing phenomenally.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is our 4th contest, halfway mark of the ESFL season for Undisputed Week 3, presented by CF ESA. we are trying to see who is going to be the head honcho at the end of this week when we go into our bye week. But so far, body shots are working really well from Loso, trying to find his way back in. Bone doing work, trying to brawl, trying to fight more on the outside a little bit, not trying to move forward. But again, the launch is back, the body shots, landing. Loso doing such a nice job connecting with fight, but also going to the elevator and working towards the head.
Right, just standing his ground, using his head movement to stay out of the way of those punches to the dome is Loso, and then he's firing off these vicious body shots, just adding to the danger of that stamina tank. For Bone doing work is like under the ocean, his oxygen is running out, the gas tank is leaking, and that's because Loso is puncturing it.
Yeah, you call Loso Tom Petty because he won't back down
from
he won't get knocked down if he's not careful, because you see the punches into a rock.
He needs this.
Doing work is going to war, and he sees his avenue. But you need to see him. He is creeping. He is crawling. He saw his opportunity. He's working towards the body now. Bone doing work is saying, no, forget the stamina. I want to knock out, and I want to knock down. But so far, this has to be a cautionary tale for Loso. He can't get too careless.
He definitely can't. That was a wake-up call. Bone doing work, getting some respect. Really desperately needed that knockdown to get the points. But some light at the end of this dark tunnel for Bone doing work. Find some success with the punches, but still Loso going back to his form and again tagging Bone doing work, but Bone fighting back.
Yeah, and you have to think the mental has to be steel trap. Guys just launch it back, attacking the body. It is a pure fight, but this mentality, you have to think from Loso, getting rocking that situation, but still having time on the clock and trying to fight back. That has to be such a scary mental situation for that competitor, because you have to think, you want to play a little bit safe, but you know you have to try to take the round back and know that you're still there. Try to not give your opponent confidence. That has to be the main game plan for Bone doing work. He needs to find a way to keep on that pressure and be consistent with it.
Yeah, you got to be consistent. You got to be able to, take what your opponent's giving you and formulate a strategy to counter that. And so far, Bone doing work did well in that round, landing a devastating shot. And you saw him opening up in the first round with those body shots. I'd like to see him get back to those. But the pressure from Loso is so impressive, Kingsley. He keeps taking the center of the ring, and he comes forward and throws these very devastating stationary combinations, which I am enjoying thoroughly.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how Loso approaches now, because you see he got hit to the body and to the head. And again, that combination has been working well. And into this phone booth situation, what can he possibly do? He moves to the side and is able to get an avenue to strike against the head, but Bone doing work, it says, I'm comfortable staying at this pace. I'm comfortable. If you're trying to come in, I'm ready for a fight. I'm ready to risk it all. And you can see he's risking all of his stamina. He's risking all of his blockades. How much is Loso going to take the bait? Is he going to try to find more to the body shots? But he seems he's trying to go for the back step straight. And that could work from time to time. But in a competitive scene like this, when you're fighting a phone booth, you need to find different avenues. You need to go to your plan C, plan D, plan all the way down to the alphabet to outthink your opponent.
You do. You got to have the wherewithal to bring out these new strategies if it's not going right for you. But man, it's going right for Loso here. I mean, his ability to withstand these power punches. You're seeing Bone doing work just throw these heaters, but they're not really getting anything. He's not really getting anything out of them. He's just gassing himself out, and Loso's just standing right in front of him. That pressure is real.
Yeah, and one of the scary things I'm worried about is when Loso goes attacking the body, because he's doing a nice job attacking the body. If he uses a lot of his stamina to attack the body, is he getting hit so many times to the head that is working to his detriment? But so far, Bone doing work, getting hit a bunch, use a little bit more stamina, but with 10 seconds left, we're going to go to the fourth round, and now we have to think, what is going to be the strategy of Loso? He's using his range, and this is the perfect race round. He is pacing up his opponent. Bone doing work, taking the white flag. It says we'll go into the next round, but look at the stamina and the health. 68% for stamina, 70 for health. This is not going to go well, but he's still going to be staying in the fight if you're Bone doing work.
You definitely got to stay in the fight, but he's got to be so careful because it's starting to seem like Loso is really finding his rhythm, really starting to find his flow. At the end of that round, he kind of stood at a range, and he was fighting so well, just detonating from distance. And Loso also really is doing well with those. He's seeing those body shots that Bone Doing Work is throwing at him, and he's block countering with those hooks. And whenever you block counter, that's power. You got to be careful. And I really think Loso is in cruise control, and he is about to finish Bone Doing Work very soon. You said by the 5th round, Kingsley. We're in round number 4 right now. Let's see if it happens.
Yeah, will they go into a full brawl, or will they try to say it into a pure fight? We'll have to see. But that's an interesting note that we talked about. Can Loso say work out of nowhere? Hit him with a left, hit him with a right. He goes down like a fight night, and it's up to a 5 count. He will get up, but now Loso trying to find his distance, not able to get it. And now, what can Bone Doing Work do now? He knows that he's low on stamina, but he has a fight in the... He has the heart of a lion in the fight, and he's working with the combinations. But now, in this phone booth situation, can Loso find his mental to find his right range and stay in there? Because every time he's going to the phone booth, and that's not working out for him every single time.
Woo! What a little mini victory here in round number 4. I mean, to put Loso on his butt with that explosive combination by Bone Doing Work, and then you saw him look back styling. He's got the swagger back. He's got the confidence. But will his gas tank hold up? He's digging to the body, and now you're seeing Loso maybe, just maybe a little bit more hesitant in this round after getting sat down on his bum by Bone Doing Work. But that gas tank is just leaking right now for Bone Doing Work. Will he have the energy to survive? Kingsley, I don't know.
We don't know. Does he even know? Does he know when he's using too much stamina? Will he stay with the same game plan? I know that meme is tired and true, but it's pinpoint right here. You see, that's the range that Loso needs to be in. But every time Bone Doing Work sees that, he automatically backs away, and that's the thing that he needs to do. Both guys are used to the game plans very well, but that's a huge 10-8 round for Bone Doing Work. And now going to the comedy box, I think we're into the 5th round. I think hopefully we didn't pass it, but Rob, this fight just got super interesting.
This fight is a heater right now. This is a good time. I'm enjoying it very, very much, and I know everybody out there is enjoying it. A little bit different from the previous fights. These guys are going after it, right in each other's faces, and Loso is putting himself in danger to dish out this offense, making this fight exciting, and Bone Doing Work, biting down that mouthpiece and letting his hands go as well. But Loso having some time to sit on the bench. Let's see if he figures out his game plan, because he's so good when he's fighting at a little bit more of a distance. As we saw at the end of round number 3. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Bone Doing Work. You see the stamina is nearly halfway, almost gone, and he's still fighting consistently as much as he wants. And it's up to Loso. Oh, look at that. Just into a hook, into a backstep straight. We're going to his point. Now he's finding the rhythm. Now he's finding the race. Oh, he needs to watch out. Those punishes be deadly, but again, using a lot of stamina. Does he know about the stamina? Does he know how much energy he's using? I want to see Loso trying to punish that, but again, these guys don't know, but it's going back and forth. The punches, the hooks, landing from Loso, doing such a nice job towards the body when he sees the opponent trying to get out of the range, but this is the perfect range. This is the perfect range. He just needs to step back a little bit and find a little bit of more damage on his opponent. Look at the body uppercuts, left and right, landing. Oh, but the counters landing from both doing work. Combinations landing heavy here, Rob.
Oh, man, so good. Loso's in the danger zone right now. This is where he got rocked before, but he is still confident in his abilities, leaning. He's looking mean out there. He's throwing some punches with ill intent, but Bone Doing Work doesn't care about his stamina. Whether he can see it or not, he does not care. If he sees an opening, he's letting his hands go, and there's a nice pull counter by Loso. Again and again, tagging and testing the chin of Mr. Bone Doing Work. Now in the corner, stuck.
Had him in the corner. Got some vicious shots on him. Another vicious shot on him again. 15 seconds left. You have to think Loso wants to put a bow onto this round. He is just working on his opponent, trying to work the body, but the hooks coming out from both of them. Bar! And that's the end of the round. Will Loso get back up? He was undefeated. He's up 1-7 count. Will he does it? He does. And that's huge. 2 knockdowns, 2 10-8 rounds for Bone Doing doing work. And Rob, you have to think, does Loso continue with the consistency of his game plan, or does he have to switch it up? Because that's 2 knockdowns and it's getting scary.
It is getting very scary. And again, Bone doing work shows that he's not afraid. Even when he has a low gas tank, he's not afraid to throw those shots on the inside. And Loso always inside of that pocket, really risking it for the biscuit. But he's got to be careful now because he's already got knocked down twice. He still has round 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And look at that gas tank from Bone doing work. We can't see Loso's, unfortunately, but you got to think he's got more stamina than Bone doing work. But so far, Bone doing work in control of this fight with these power punches on the inside.
This, again, the range aspect, he was doing so well when he was like in this little tight corner. When he refined the jab, he was able to connect with his opponent. But every time he's in this combo, it seems like Bone doing work has been getting the benefit of the doubt of these trades. But so far, working to the corners, this could be a beat of splash up, and they just digging into the body every single time. Call it creep 3, because you could just see the step just dropping off from Loso. But Loso trying to enter back. Oh, but again, the counters, the striking, hitting again and again for Bone doing. Oh, the power straight, the power, the will, the heart to bring his opponent down from his undefeated pedestal. Can he do it? He won't, but a fight back from Loso. Loso needs to find a way back in. Can he find the power here, Rob?
Loso is out of his mind. He's just continually holding that left analog stick towards his opponent. Bone doing work, and Bone doing work is doing some work. He's landing so many bombs on the face of Loso, and after he lands a devastating shot, Kingsley, Loso just stands there and eats the 3. After right there, another hook lands for Bone doing work, but out of gas is Bone doing work. He's so tired in this round.
Yeah, but that power strain has no depletion. That power strain has been the bread and butter move of Bone doing work with 15 seconds. Will he go to her into the trade? 10 seconds. Loso trying to capitalize, but he needs to watch out. He's in the phone booth again. He needs to be careful of just being too careless. Oh, the straight trying to land, and that will take it into the 7th round. And it is getting very tight. The pressure mounting. You can cut the tension with a knife here, Rob.
You can, a butter knife to be exact. I mean, it's just incredible. This fight is electric, and I am amped. I'm at the edge of my seat, and there you go, 55-57. The judges apparently have Bone doing work ahead, but Loso, he's got to have more gas. He's putting on the pressure. He's risking his livelihood here, and these guys are putting on fight of the night performance, in my opinion, Kingsley, and this is insane. Look at the stamina, though. He's got no more energy left. It's over.
Oh, my God. You have to think the 2 points from those 2 knockdowns. That's the biggest point of the whole fight. Those 2 knockdowns is keeping Bone doing work in the fight. That's giving him lead. But again, the stamina, we don't know for Loso. Loso is staying at his opponent's face, saying, it's time to bring it down. It's time for you to go down. Knock down for Loso. Can he keep the undefeated streak? We are up to the 5 count, and it seems like he will get back up, but there's still plenty of time. This is where it gets very interesting here, people. Let's see what Bone doing work does here, Rob.
Yeah, we're about to see, because he's got no more gas, and Loso has just walked through everything, has eaten the kitchen sink that was thrown at him by Bone doing work, and he still has 3 more rounds after this. Ladies and gentlemen, he is in the pressure cooker. He's a bead of rice, and he is about to get slaughtered. This is nasty. Loso on fire here, and this looks like it could be over in this round.
Yeah, and this is a lot of 40 seconds left to play with. Bone doing work. We know when he brings his opponent in, he's going to go for a big counter. But the body shots, with a vicious right hook from Bone doing work. Loso trying to keep his distance. 20 seconds left. Trying to find his way with the uppercuts. Working well, but needs to be very careful. Trying to find his way. 10 seconds. Nice counter with the jab. And you see Loso, he's going to try to take it to another round. He moved all the way back there, Rob.
Yeah, Loso knows his opponent is completely gassed right now. He's going to go ahead and go to, the next round. He's having fun out there at this point. And Bone doing work has had some devastating shots land on Loso, but even with the damage dealt, him having no stamina, him having his short-term stamina blinking, Every punch that Loso throws on him is going to be extra vulnerable, and Loso is going to put a stamp on this beautiful fight, this beautiful performance, and possibly get fight of the night and maybe KO of the night. I don't even know if that's possible, but it's looking like he could do it.
Hey, anything is possible when you're inside that ring and you're fighting with the heart of the lion. But now it's up to Loso. You know that he probably has a combination. Oh, but look at that. The lunge back into a counter straight to the body. You can see everything is just destructing on both work. Oh, but the back and forth. You have to think you can't put as many combinations as you want together, but he just needs that one magic moment like that with and the right coming back, attacking the body. Loso trying to find the detonation, but trying to send the codes down to destroy his opponent. But Bone doing work, still fighting, still trying to find his avenues to work in, trying to work the body, works the body again, gets a nice counter. Oh, but needs to watch out, launch it back. Both in a phone booth again, Loso trying to chase down his opponent, knowing that he smells blood in the water. He needs to be very, very careful here, Rob. This is what he needs to do. He needs to find a way to play the range game and not get caught with any crazy strikes.
100%. And right now, Bone doing work, looking like a walker from The Walking Dead. But unfortunately, Loso, he's Carl.
Oh, well, are we going to talk about comic book Carl or are we going to talk about TV Carl? Because those have two different
TV Carl.
TV
Carl.
Oh, no. We don't like that. But with 30 seconds left, both guys going countering back. Carl, why did you do that? We'll have to find out because both do work. Trying to find his way, attacking the body again, getting the counters again. Loso trying to find his way, avenue back in. Trying to attack the body, trying to land with the hooks.
How is he still up? What's going on, Kingsley?
It's insane. The fact that we are going to a ninth round is insane to me here, Rob.
Hell no, that's Kingsley. This is craziness. And yeah, wow, I can't believe that somehow, some way, Bone doing work was able to just stay on his feet. The whole end of that round, he had literally no gas. He's just standing there, still throwing down, still landing punches here or there. But here we go, round number 9. Loso still has 2 rounds to work to get the cherry on top to this beautiful performance. And we'll see. Loso obviously putting a lot of effort into these rounds and really wants that finish.
Yeah, he really wants that finish, and he's doing everything in his power to attack the body to make sure everything crumbles. He was able to get the first knockdown, so you have to think, if it goes to a 10th round, we might see the judges' scorecards be an even tie with a 10th round on the line here if Loso continues on the pressure. But Bone doing work, he is still fighting. He is still trying to land these hooks, trying to land these jabs. He's trying to go for a triple jab there, but not really fully landing. But the back steps from Loso, trying to find his way back in, trying to claw into his opponent's body, trying to dig a cave in to the body of Bone doing work. But Bone doing work is still fighting with the heart of a lion.
He really is. His arms look like some wet noodles right now. He has no pop on his punches, but he's still pressing the buttons. He's pressing the inputs, but his character, Sugar Ray Leonard, or excuse me, his fighter, Sugar Ray Robinson, just won't respond. And Loso is just all over him again and again, just annihilating him.
Yeah, and right now, this is where Loso wanted him in the corner, but able to get out, still having the movement speed to work through it. And again, the body uppercuts, the body straights, it's working, but how much is it working? Can you see Bolton work still planting onto his opponent, trying to land a nice jab onto his opponent? I'm surprised he's not trying to lunge back, but with 40 seconds, here we go. Here's the main play. Can Loso finish off the round and take this round and possibly make it a tie or be 1 round up? Because again, he got knocked down 2 times. Well, he has 1 knockdown to his opponent, so anything is on the cards going to the 10th round if it gets there.
Oh my goodness! I was just about to say I'm so shocked that Bone doing work's punches are still having this sort of pop on him. Look, they're still fast, they're still accurate, they're still kind of powerful, and he has no stamina. So it actually makes no sense to me. But somehow, some way, this fight is tied going into the 5th or the 10th and final round.
10th round, everything on the line. 2 points, maybe even 3 points. Everything is on the line. Throw the kitchen sink into the ring. Buckle to your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ESFL, and this is where heart is going to show. Body shots landing into the straight. We saw a little bit of a counter for Bolton work, but Bolton work getting some taste of his own medicine. This is where Loso needs to put the pedal on the gas. He needs to find a way back in. Both guys go for strikes, trying to attack the body as much as they possibly can. I'm surprised if we haven't seen any cuts here, Rob, but still guys are still trying to cave into the body as much as possible.
And you're seeing the icon pop up earlier. The head health is really low on Bone doing work, but Loso really just still targeting the body, really focusing on that. And you'd like to see him go a little bit upstairs, and that's a nice little left hook. And here he comes, Loso, with the power shots in the 10th and final round. And Bone doing work, just still fighting so valiantly in there, Kingsley.
Yeah, when are we going to see the power straight from Bone doing work? We saw that move prove to be so successful for him in the late past rounds. But Loso doing a nice job with range, trying to find his way back in, but he can't go in and get hit with a left hook. With 1 minute to go, we see a nice counter. Everything is on the line. We don't know how the judges are going to score these cards, but we'll have to see. Counters coming from Loso. Loso trying to find his way back in. Ball to work, still surviving, still clawing, still trying to move out of the way of these strikes. Body shots, trying to land, but not fully connected with the body. 30 seconds here, Rob. Let's take it home.
30 seconds left, 20 seconds left. The block's up from Loso. He's in the face, daring Bone doing work to fight. And Bone says, okay, let's go. I've got no energy. I'm still throwing power shots. That left hook lands. Big punches. Rock'em sock'em robots. This is crazy. Complete pandemonium inside of the ring. And this is going to the decision.
And the decision will be... It will go to Loso as he becomes 3-0 with 6 points, and that's a huge result. 2 knockdowns, so many rocks, but he had the stamina, he had the consistency in the later rounds, and that proved to be the be-all and all. Let's see, and it was a split decision. One judge, the second judge, gave the round to Bone doing work, so the other judges thought the other way. It'd be interesting to see what round 10 was supposed to be for all these judges, because I want to see the stats for it. But very interesting that one judge gave the Bone doing work while the other judges gave it to Loso to give him 6 points in the regular season here, Rob.
Yeah, and look at the stamina and the health. We couldn't see it, but they were both pretty gassed in that last round. I'm not sure how much energy was spent in which round for Loso, because you don't really get to see the stamina, unfortunately. But man, look at that. 19, 19, 22, 21. What a fight. That was just unbelievably entertaining. And Loso getting how many points? 2 points, 3 points, 2 points.
Yeah, he gets 2 points.
He got the win. He got some points.
Yeah, he got the victory. So every win is 2 points. If you get a knockout victory, then that's a maximum of 3 points. But again, that's huge for Loso, and Bone doing work. Still part of the 2-point pack, but that after getting 2 knockdowns, you have to feel for him. He put everything out on the line, and he still had an opportunity. So the fact that you have that result has to be crushing for his regular season standings. And I want to just confirm something about our third contest between Talon and JMMA. If we're confirming the results of that matchup, do we have any confirmation? Okay, so we're getting word that we're still trying to figure things out, so no confirmation on anything from our previous matchup. We will still work on details and let you guys know. But again, Loso, 6 points. Bone doing work, still stuck at 2 points, and that's very key, because with 6 points, that might clear you, because some people are still at 0 in that 2 points, so you need 2 fights just to even make up 6 points, so that's very huge for Loso right there, Rob.
Oh yeah, Loso 6 points, commanding lead, undefeated now, 3-0. Obviously one of the best players this season, looking to move up towards that upper echelon of this division here, and he's the real deal here, Kingsley. He's the real deal.
Yeah, he's very much a real deal. And now with the main event and the co-main event, now all those people are going to be looking at Loso like, all right, you got 6 points. EyeGameUWatch, he was the #1 seed coming into the week 3. Now he's at 5 points. If he doesn't get a victory, now he drops down a ranking, and that's going to be very huge. While Addict, he could be tied with his 4 points, going up to 6 points, or maybe even 7. So a lot at stake, even more stakes going to our main event and even our co-main event, which is still on the docket. Again, Pryoxis versus King12Diaz in our co-main event. EyeGameUWatch, undefeated 2-0, going against Addict85 is also going to be our main event. So a lot of big things coming along the wayside. But Rob, we still have more fights to go before we even get to that point. we have another big one. And these are two competitors who are still looking to move forward out of the 2-point packet. That's K Young Butter versus Job. And this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I love one of the fighter selections that I see here. It's making me really happy.
And which one is that?
Oh, the Ricky Hatton pick? I mean,
Ooh,
Ricky Hatton pick, especially with
body shots. Ricky Hatton. Talk about those body shots, Kingly.
Ricky Hatton. I mean, he is the body shots are immaculate when you talk about in his heyday before he faced Floyd Mayweather. He had like that devastation. Ricky Hatton was the bee's knees in his division. He was amazing. I don't know much about Jorge, but I feel like with Joe picking Jorge, it seems like he's very confident in the pick. But the Ricky Hatton, you don't usually see that in Undisputed Ring. Usually you see like Canelo Alvarez, you see the Sugar Rays, and like all these big picks. I'm surprised we haven't seen Terrence Crawford yet so far in this whole season. But the fact that you went with an unorthodox pick in Ricky Hatton, I'm very surprised about. But any backstory on these competitors before we set the stage of this contest here, Rob?
Oh, you always know I got something planned. Fun fact, Job actually had to pull, not really a fun fact, a sad fact. He had to pull out of week 2 due to a dog biting his gaming hand, his professional gaming hand. So he's, he had to get in some recovery, and now he's looking to get back on track this week after that vicious attack. And now K Young Butter, 1-1, an ESFL live top 8 qualifier who also lost to Loso. Defeated Word Life. This guy is insanely talented on the feet. His pressure with Ricky Hatton is going to be unbelievable. Watch for this guy.
It's going to be really good. And again, these guys have put on some shows, and it seems like this could be another potential fight of the night contender. But to follow up the last fight we had, that's a pretty tall order. But again, K Young Butter is in the red corner using Ricky Hatton on the left, while Jorge is being used by Job in the blue corner on the right side. And so far, we see K Young Butter trying to attack the body a little bit more. We talked about the body shots from Ricky Hatton. This has to be where we see the range game. What's going to happen? Are we going to see a little bit of adaptability? It seems like we're going to go into the hooks, try to attack the body a little bit more than we see before. And hopefully we get to see a little bit of knockout power, some power shots.
Yeah, hopefully. And K Young Butter is very strategic fighter and very aggressive as well. He'll move left, he'll move right, he'll put on power shots to the body, and he'll really, as the fight goes on, get stronger and stronger as well. But he's so aggressive. But right now, Job just devastating that body on K Young Butter.
Yeah, he's devastating that body and gets a nice counter for his troubles. And you see the combinations coming in for Job. Job, he's undefeated. Unfortunately, he had to pull out, as you said, from that unfortunate dog bite. But the fact that he's showing that he's showing that he has not lost a step. Even though he's hampered by that injury, he is back in, and he's still ready to show that he's one of the top contenders here, Rob.
Yes, 100%. You got to watch out. When the hand is a little injured, you got to wrap it, and you got to tap those buttons. So you got to give him props for coming out here with that type of injury. And this is just a beautiful exchange between these two right now, really trying to fill each other out. And you're seeing Jorge Venares, aka Job, just destroying that body, really investing on Ricky Hatton. And that's what Ricky Hatton's special, is the body work.
Yeah, it's absolutely a specialty. But right now, we're seeing the power shots to the head working very well for Ricky Hatton. K Young Butter is trying to find his way back in. And you see, he's more taking that inside of the ring, while we see Job use a little bit more of his movement to find his opponent with the right hook. But at the end of that round, it'll be interesting to see how the judges score that round. But not much of the stamina usage as we've seen before in previous fights. This seems to be more of a calculated contest as we go into the second round here, Rob.
Yeah, a little bit more calculated for sure. Definitely putting on some nice pressure onto each other, though. And you're seeing K Young Butter really push the pace with his striking, taking that center of the ring, kind of moving left there. And Job just trying to find that left hook to that body again and again and again.
Yeah, every time he's trying to look for the body, and that has to be like a changing up the game plan a little bit, because he's working really well with the jabs. Working the jabs to the body has to change everything up, because it opens up for shots to the hook, but to the head. And so far, Job is just having his way with just working high and low, working the body, and he's able to get a counter. But now it's up to K Young Butter. What can he do to adapt to this game plan? Because you want to attack your opponent so much to the head and just try to cause a knockdown, but it seems like he needs to block more to the body if he wants to survive these oncoming onslaughts of rounds.
Yeah, a little block countering would be nice. Job is all over him here, landing a couple good shots just out of the way of that left hook return from Mr. K Young Butter. And Jorge Renales is looking good out there.
It's clean. Everything is just clean so far from the combinations for Job. And Job is seeing like his opponent trying to go for these power shots. It's like, oh, you can go for these power shots. I'm just going to hit you with jab and hit you with combinations. And I'm going to work the best of my ability to just hurt you that way. Because we see that power shots do have like a penalty against your opponent, but combinations will do damage long term here, especially with 35 seconds left in the round.
Yes, they will. Ooh, speaking of some power shots, Job is making such a big investment into the body of Ricky Hatton. He's doing such a good job of just landing again and again and again. And then as soon as K and Butter drops his hand, that left hook is being just launched. Job looking really strong right now.
Yeah,
oh!
You can just see the striking just coming in, and it's just like, you're going to go to the hook, now I'm going to go to the bite. It just seems like not every strike or every movement is predictable. It seems like every time he's just taking things off beat, where K Bar has to figure out everything in a split second. It's just not working because look, again to the body, working to the body a little bit more, and then when he comes back in, I'm sure he's gonna go to the head as he does right there. Not everything is predictable. He's working his opponent, trying to play a little bit of a chess match on his opponent's body.
He is playing a good chess match here on his body, and oh man, it's just devastating. I wonder what the stamina is looking like over there on K Young Butter, and K Young Butter is answering back here, but man, Job has a microscope and he is focusing on one aspect of this fight, and that is on the midsection.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been his pinpoint. That's been his target, and he's landing very nicely. One thing I want to see from King of Butter, it seems like he's getting hit every single time he goes in, and now to a phone booth brawl right there. Combinations coming out from Job is working really well. I want to see if King of Butter would just like stand somewhere and just let his opponent come to him, because every time he's moving forward, he's getting pieced up every single time.
It's a great point. He is. He's trying to stay stationary in the middle of the ring, but Job kind of popping way out of range and then coming back in, and just continually more of the same in round number 3 here, Kingsley.
Yeah, and we'll have to see as we do a little bit of do-si-do as we're just spinning around in the cyclone as the movement is going hot and heavy. Job trying to take a little bit more, try to play more towards the ropes. Well, Ricky, K Butter, he's doing a strategy. He's like, I'm not going to go where you want me to go. I'm going to be more proactive. You're going to have to come to me. You're going to have to react to what I want to do in this contest. And with 10 seconds left, maybe that could be the starting point for the next couple of seconds starting to the next round. But again, he needs to avoid these combinations coming from Joe, because every time he's attacking the body, that body has to be hurting a lot more here, Rob.
Yeah, I think so. Job just doing a phenomenal job in round number 3. Dig into the body and also landing, shots up top. And there it is, 30-27. And I would have to agree with that. I think Job is doing a very good job in this fight, in these opening 3 rounds of this 10-round fight, and really establishing his pace, establishing his rhythm, and drawing K Young Butter into his sort of fight.
Yeah, and this is where the fight is going to be won. Are you going to react, or are you going to be proactive? What are you going to do to change everything? Because every time he's trying to go for the strikes, it seems like they have the same timing, and just Job is finding the right strike, because he saw that right hook, able to land it, and when his opponent, K Young Butter, is trying to find his strike going straight or into the jab, it just seems like he's not getting the benefit of the advantage of the strikes. He's able to get the counter, but this is where he needs to do. Bring his opponent in, now go for your strike. Be the first one to land your strikes first, and then initiate the brawl. Initiate everything. Because Job, he's just in his comfort zone. He won the first 3 rounds. Now you need to do something different, and that's a perfect counter for K Young Butter.
Yeah, it is. And K Young Butter in round number 4 seems to be finding his rhythm as well. And K Young Butter is more of, he seems like he just holds that block up, waits for Job to come on in, and then Job's like coming in like a viper, hitting his shots, using a lot of backwards head movement, or a lot of lean backs, and then steps completely out of range, while K Young Butter kind of just stands there as a stationary target.
Yeah, he kind of stays there as a stationary target, but one thing he did momentarily, he was able to lean forward. It seems like he's preemptively leaning to the right or to the left because he knows the hooks are going to be one of the main moves. It's just working the body, but oh, he gets punished for a nice counter, and now working to the body, Job does, and it's working so well for him. Trying to go for the strike, able to land a hook, and when he sees his opponent trying to go for a strike, just attacks the body. Just been a nice game plan, and with 10 seconds left, getting nice counters again, and this hasn't been so far a dominant round for Job. Again, gets a nice roll and has his opponent on the corner. And this is where he can use his range and work on his opponent. And again, the end of the third round. And Job, what can you do for me? And just land so many body shots onto his opponent and work to the head.
Doing a phenomenal job as Job as we go into round number 5. And I thought KO Butter did a lot better in round number 4 than he did in the previous 3 rounds. He was fighting pretty well at the first half of that last round, but Job came strong in the latter part and really established himself again. And you know, Job is just looking really good with his footwork, with his body shots, and with his just agileness, and his defense is great.
Yeah, it seems like he's in a bit of a flow state, you know, like when you just have everything figured out, like everything just slows down for you. You're in the matrix. You're able to piece out the body when you want to. You're able to work the head a little bit. You can see what your opponent's trying to throw at you. Even though you might get hit with the occasional left hook, as we saw KO Bart do, he lands his combinations when he wants. Look at that. Again, a big left, a big right. This is where he wants to do. And now in the range that he wants to be in, Job is just working so nice and is very a particular flow state.
Looking very good. K-Young Butter really needs to find some sort of silver lining here, some sort of damage. Not that he's not landing shots. He's just getting hit too much. He's getting outpointed here. And the body shots, oh, like that one and that one. Oh, man, that is just devastating. And then the hook is there to follow. Job is in the flow state. He is on fire here at round number 5.
It's like a fire sale at a grocery store. You buy one, you get 3 back. That's what's happening to KO Buddy. He's trying to throw one, but he's getting hit 3 times more than he's outputting. So every time, look at this. That's the main part of this fight right here. Every time he goes for like one strike, he's getting hit by 2 or 3 times, and now he has to worry about that. And now he's getting hit with hooks, and it's just every time he tries to move back, it's not working well for him.
It's really not. And Job is mixing and matching these punches. He knows the body shots are working, but he still mixes up those headshots when KO Butter thinks he's going to go low. And KO Butter really employs that stationary defense. He's really relying on his blocking and then his head movement here and there, but not so much his footwork.
And you have to think for Job, he's kind of like a Bob Ross, you know? He's just painting his opponent with strikes every single time. Like, oh, I'm going to pay a little tree right here. And now I'm going to take my time. And now I'm going to, a little happy tree, a little happy face, just a happy face of bruises. And then I'm going to go to the body and just put on my soil and all the ground and a little bit of water right there. It's just like counters every single time we're landing. And it's sure to make fun of, but it's just, that's what's happening in this fight. Just the hooks landing, the body shots landing for Job. He's just having his way in his flow state and is working so well.
He's slowly burying his opponent with soil. My goodness, it's like Tito Ortiz out there, Kingsley. He sees him, he's burying him, he's getting the grave ready, and K Young Butter's got to figure out how to get out of there. He's got to figure out how to get some damage because, oh my goodness, Ricky Hatton's getting a taste of his own medicine, Kingsley here. Woo! Job, elite.
Easily. It'll be really funny if he does an elite celebration and try to do the whole Tito Ortiz, try to put him in the ground in the burial of the graveyard. But right now, good combination from K Young Butter, able to answer back, even though we may be talking a lot at his expense. K Young Butter is getting these strikes on. He's getting the jabs. He's working really well of trying to find his way back in. It's just the body shots. Every time he has a little bit of success, he's taking 2 back, and it's not working well. Because in this range, when he's a little bit in the phone booth, not fully in, he's getting counters back, but he's getting way too much bang for his buck every time he's trying to land forward. And look at that, left hook, landing. Another right hook to his face, and then body again. Everything's just so unpredictable for Joe.
Ooh, digging. He's digging to the body. Job looking good, and KO Butter trying to find his rhythm here, and those are some good blocks. He's blocking a lot of these body shots, which is nice. The block counter would be beautiful, but right, I agree with you, Kingsley. He's got to tried to figure out this big problem in front of him. It's like when you're in geometry class and you missed a few sessions and you're trying to catch up and you trying to figure out how to get back that foundation. And look at the score right here. It's just a clean sweep so far for Mr. Job.
Numbers don't lie, but the eye test might sometimes. But it was a clean sweep for Job. And the judges, one judge is liking what they're seeing. Look at this. The launch back, the body shots, every single time. We talk about Ricky Hernandez's body shots. The fact that Jorge is able to do this and Job is able to land. Oh, look at the hook into the body uppercut. What? Like, you can't teach that. You have to get you have to stretch out your thumb a little bit to get the right analog to move the way you want. You know, you need to do exercises. You need to do some yoga, trying to get everything going. It's just, I can't do this. I wish I could do something like this, trying to outthink my opponent and land some body shots like this. I mean, this is very impressive. And just look at that. Just flashing lights, calling it Kanye West song. He's just landing left, right. Just flashing lights everywhere here, Rob.
A little thumb yoga, a little thoga, Kingsley. You know what I'm saying?
Thoga, okay.
Stretch out that thumb. But right now, what's getting stretched out is the dome piece of K Young Butter. He's trying to throw valiantly, but Job all over him, moving. He's grooving. And the footwork, you're keeping him alive. He's there, and then he's gone. He's like a ghost out there, and he's just looking phenomenally. K Young Butter's got to find a way to land something devastating here in round number 7.
Yeah, but don't call him Casper because he's not friendly at all in the ring right now. So Job is just putting on his opponent. But a good counter for K-On Butter. K-On Butter is still in this fight. Even though it seems like it's been a clean sweep, all he needs is just one perfect opportunity. Like right there.
Oh!
One perfect opportunity. One shiny moment.
You psychic, Kingsley? Are you psychic?
Hey, miss it back sometimes translates into the ring, you know? 10 seconds left in round 7. And you know, Job is not going to take too kindly into that whole situation. But that's what we say. You could do everything right in the first 6 rounds. But when you make that one mistake, when you get too careless, that's when the mistakes pop up and you get a rock situation like that there, Rob.
Yes, sir. A little bit of hope there for the K Young Butter fans, finally able to land and dish out a little damage of his own to get some respect from Job. And now here comes K Young Butter. And K Young Butter is the type of fighter that will put it all on the line if he thinks he's losing in these final rounds to get the win. And this is where it's going to get dangerous from Job, because an animal that is in trouble is a dangerous animal. An animal that has his back against the wall, Kingsley, is vicious.
Yeah, and vicious. And speaking of which, Job, it wasn't a commentator's curse, okay? It was perfectly happening. It was a coincidence, okay? You're
commentator's curse.
And
you cursed him, Kingsley. You cursed him.
Juju on me, Ricky Bobby, okay? Job is doing a nice job. He's being consistent with the first minute. He's still back in his game plan. He just needs to watch out for KO Butter, because now KO Butter sees some success, and now he wants to take an advantage. So you see him be a little bit aggressive, but the counter body uppercut is still working well for Job. Job is still trying to find his way back in, trying to go for the right hooks. It's just in these moments, you know that KO Butter, he's going to do the lunge back. When he sees like he has a Venus flytrap situation, this is where he wants to take apart his opponent and maybe go for a power shot. We know the body shots land, but look at the combinations coming in hot and heavy. But look at the stamina from Job. He's using these combinations now, but now they're taking a lot more stamina than what we usually saw going into the last minute of this 8th round, I think.
Oh man, those body shots in those early rounds are now paying dividends like it's Monopoly in this dang ring. And darn it, Job is all over K.O. Butter, and K.O. Butter's trying to throw these punches, but he just doesn't have the gas to get anything out of it, Kingsley. I mean, when he's throwing these, he looks tired. His punches look labored.
Oh! Yeah, it looks labored, but they still sting. They still sing all the same. And right now, trying to go for a hook again.
Oh!
Is the Rock Timber knocked down for Job, as we see K.O. Butter needs to find a way. You can see there was a cut on the left eye, on the upper eyebrow. So if he gets back up, that's something he needs to watch out for. He needs to protect that left side. But Job, he got a knockdown there, so you can't tell me there's no commentator's curse, all right? He got a knockdown. Get off my case, official ESFL. God dang it.
My goodness, Kingsley is on fire right now, is he not, ladies and gentlemen? And Job is looking to finish the masterpiece in which he's been drawing. The Bob Ross comparison is still alive.
It's still alive, and he's working the body. He had to gun away from his game plan. He's just being more effective with his striking, trying to be more precise, more selective with his striking. Because look, the right hooks are working, left hooks are working, the body shots are landing. It's just with K on Butter. What can he do in his phone booth? Can he find a way to go to the side and find his way back in? Because he can't stop combinations like this. Working the body, staying super close, trying to unleash hell onto his opponent. Left hooks right to the body. Everywhere's working forward. And again, it's the left cut on the left head, upper to the eyebrow there, Rob. He needs to be careful.
I'm hearing some in the crowd right now in the audience. Is that Miley Cyrus? Because he's coming in like a wrecking ball.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like he's feeling a little bit jaded from this commentator's curse, but I'm hoping to give his flowers at the end of it when he gets his wins. You love those little punch right there. I have them for days. But we see Joe, he has punches for days. As we see KO Bar trying to find his way back, but with 1 minute to go in the penultimate round, this is where the brawl is going to happen here, Rob.
Indeed, it is round number 9, and they are letting their hands go, standing toe-to-toe inside of this close proximity, and they are dropping landmines and oh! Devastation! Ricky Hatton special!
Blink and you miss it. I think that was to the body, and that was a knockdown against Job. And now K Young Butter has some life going. How much time do we have in the 9th round? We have 5 seconds. We're definitely going to a 10th round, but that's very, very interesting. K Young Butter has some life in this contest.
Wow, that is huge for K Young Butter. Finally, a knockdown, a devastating punch to the body. Here we go, 82-87. That means, Kingsley, ladies and gentlemen, we need a mother knockout.
Oh my God, bring the censors all out because he's about to get violent, people. K Young Butter trying to find his way back. He's at 2 points. Job has 1 point. He's undefeated. He's trying to make it into 4, possibly 5. Now into this contest, Job trying to find his way back in, trying to find the body, but now it's a little bit different because we know Ricky Hatton, he's going to find his way back in. He needs to protect his body now. But with 1 minute to go, people wanted Black H being somewhat fairly low for Joe, but able to answer back with a nice counter. And right now, we're just do-si-doing. We might as well call it the Hannah Montana movie because we're doing a little do-si-do all around a little line circle. And it's so far, it seems like a bit of hesitancy in this last round right here. Not trying to make
I was about to say, they're definitely more hesitant. You know, both guys have gotten knocked down. This round is so crucial. And you know, Job is thinking K Young Butter's coming for the kill, and K Young Butter wants to set up the perfect execution on his opponent, but Job's still letting it fly, landing some punches, and K Young Butter needs something. He needs a miracle.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about. We saw Job lean back, and he got hit to the body with a counter. If he gets hit with that, and it was like right on the money, that could be big. But
Oh!
No! Job says, leave! No, no! No quenchers! Left unanswered as he goes down in a blaze of glory! Job gets the 3rd knockdown! Blood on the canvas! Blood on the eyebrow! Blood everywhere! And K on Butter, will he find a way to get back up? He gets back up with 8 count. And how much time is there left there, Rob? We don't know, but it has to be limited.
It's barely any time, only 10 seconds, and I got blood on me too. Kingsley, bang again. Joe tags him on fire, bang, 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 and that's a wrap.
That's huge. That's actually huge. Because if he gets the 3 points, that changes everything. He can be 5 points clear. If Ricky Hatton's able to get up, he can only change it to 2. Let's see. 9, 10. He gets the full 3 points. It's good from Job as he gets 2-0 with 1 knockout.
My God, Kingsley is activated.
Boo, 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 boo. Activated, let's go. But Joe, talk about someone who was activated after getting knocked down. We saw the consistency in the beginning of the work from Joe, attacking the body, attacking the head. But when it came push to shove with the final round on the line, he was able to put in that work and get the knockout. And the fact that he got it with 4 seconds left. There was 15 seconds left after the first knockdown in that 10th round to get it again in a short amount of time. That is huge. And that's going to be huge in the regular season there too, Rob.
Definitely. I mean, to get the win is huge. To get the knockout is even better. You know, 3 points for Job, 5 points in total now. against a dangerous opponent in Young Butter. I mean, that's got to feel good. And that just shows how good Job is, because Young Butter is no joke out there, ladies and gentlemen. And man, that's a contestant for fight of the night, in my opinion. I think Loso and Bone Doing Work is probably my fight of the night choice right now, Kingsley. But that one right there is close, and KO of the night is crazy as well.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's always boundaries for the knockout. So the fact that he got the knockout, he's leaving away with something. He at least got the job done, and that is big. Along with the regular season standings, along with everything else, that is like the main important part. Now he's in the big mix of things. He's probably in the top 8 of the Elite 8 playoffs with 4 weeks to go right after this. So you have to feel really good. Like the fact that you have a knockout, you have a week to rest, prepare for the rest of your opponents. That's going to be huge going to the rest of the other matchups. Because now, of our other 6 competitors just way in the wings, now they have to look at it as like, damn, this guy got a knockout. This guy got a knockout. We don't know what happened in that other result. There's a lot of things at play, and you have to think, the more you're waiting, the more pressure is going to be on you with these next 3 fights here, Rob.
For sure, always pressuring the esports fight league, because these competitors always find a way to show out. So if you are in here, there is the bright light syndrome, the people watching Kingsley screaming, rattling the arena, and you really need to be on your game in the esports fight league to get to that playoff spot, to get that much closer to that beautiful, luxurious belt.
Oh, that belt is fantastic. It has the red line in it. Trust me, I wish I could see it in person, but my guy, it looked pretty in picture. I can't wait to see how it actually looks on someone's shoulder, and they're just holding around, walking in the street with it. It might be super amazing. But Rob, we
Yes.
still have 3 more fights to go. In this next one, we thought that last one was a bit of a banger. This one, I'm very curious about, because it's Fight Night's Finest going against JxShepp, who had that crazy draw in the first week, which won fight of the night in week 1. Now he's coming back after not being in week 2. What are you expecting from 2 of these competitors, especially in the middleweight division?
Ooh, I'm expecting something special, because JxShepp scored a draw against Pryoxis in week 1, and he looked like he was winning that fight early, and Pryoxis just came like a demon, because he is about that demon time, and he really, drew that up against JxShepp, who did have to pull out last week, which was supposed to be scheduled against Fight Night's Finest. So we're finally getting to see what these two are going to bring to the table, and we're going to see who is the better fighter here. 1-1 for Fight Night's Finest, 0-0 for JxShepp, with a decision, a draw decision.
With a draw decision, and again, that 1 point could be the biggest thing, because that leads you to the opening of having a maximum of 4 points, or even 3 points. So you're not going to be in the 2-point gauntlet that's happening around with the rest of the middle of the standing. So a lot of big things. Also, before we get this fight started, we want to thank to all of you guys for following. We saw some subs in the chat as well. Woo! So whether you're on Twitch or on YouTube, we hope you're having an exciting time, and there's plenty more to come. Again, Pryoxis way in the wings. EyeGameUWatch versus Addict85 King12Diaz, all waiting as we get this fight going. Nigel Benn is being used by Fight Night's Finest in the red corner, while JxShepp in the blue using Daniel Jacobs. And I love the camel shorts that Daniel Jacobs has, but right now he needs to go to war against his opponent and get some very key points.
He definitely does, and Nigel Benn is a animal in there with his power and his durability, and he is a bruiser, a brawler. And Daniel Jacobs has his hands full tonight.
He does have his hands full tonight. I mean, you saw what the other performances done. The Fight Night contender is still on the table. Knockouts are still on the table. A lot of things are in stake, and you're going to see a little bit of a change of pace, a little bit more of a downloading period that we've seen before, instead of the brawls that we see Bone doing work and other people before. Well, Fight Night's Finest, this is his wheelhouse. He wants to be aggressive, but he wants to be his over passive aggressive style, where he's working his opponent. He's molded by the games. Knockout Kings, Fight Night, now Undisputed. This is his wheelhouse. What can he do to gain the advantage and get this win? Well, on the other side, JxShepp having that draw, knowing that he needs to do something more. He can't leave with a loss, because that turns everything off in the regular season. He needs to get his win, and he needs to get it back.
Most definitely. And we're seeing JxShepp really employing a nice jab early, and really moving off of that jab, keeping his head off that center line, moving it on a swivel, and really making it hard for Undisputed Finest to land his shots. However, Nigel Benn is still finding his way. He's finding himself in there, being very patient, holding that block up Kingsley, and trying to figure out what's going on in there.
Yeah, he's trying to go for a power straight on the right side, but not able to land fully. And with 10 seconds left, we can see JxShepp. I love his movement a little bit, even though he got hit with a right hook. It seems like his thought process is like, all right, I'm going to move around, but very limited. I'm going to try to stay in front, make you come close, then I'm going to go select my shots. Well, it seems like FNFinest, you want to stay in the center. If you're going to move around, I'm still going to be on the same axis. So no matter where you go, I'm still going to be right at your face. With this second round, will we see any changes? We see more of the aggressive pursuit from FNFinest to get more of the center ring. But when JxShepp moves, he's still at his opponent. He's still levered at the same level in the same reach game as we've seen before here, Rob.
Yes, he is. And with somebody like JxShepp, Undisputed's Finest needs to be very careful, because if he overthrows and that head movement allows him to miss, then that counter window is going to be huge. And that's what JxShepp is looking for, is those counter punches while he's just popping them with these jabs. And now Finest coming in with these body shots looking pretty good.
Yeah, you could definitely tell he's definitely looking for those like counter shots. He was able to almost get it, but he was able to get blocked and got hit with a counter shot his own. But right now, this is jab work. Look at this. I love what he's doing, because right now he's trying to gauge the distance. And when he's going in close, this is where, like, okay, you're attacking me by, I could block that, but I would stay in your face. I'm not going to give you anything predictable. I'm just going to work the jab, and I'm going to see how you react every single time. And it's up to FNFinest. What are you going to do? Are you going to still try to keep the jab, or are you going to try to keep distance? Are you going to try to play like 50, or are you going to attack the bite just like right there and attack it with a body uppercut? Ooh. Just like when he gets a counter right there, Rob.
Yeah, Undisputed needs to stay off that center line. JxShepp just throwing that left jab. That's literally the only punch he's really throwing. Even when they're real close, he's still popping that jab. Even when it's a little bit claustrophobic in there and that jab's getting stuffed, he's still throwing the jab, Kingsley. So Undisputed's Finest is not seeing too much of a variety of offense here.
Yeah, but you know, the botcher's best friend is the jab. So when you implement the jab, it leads to other avenues. It's like a branching tree. It's like choose your own adventure. You're going to work on the jab, then you can go for an uppercut, you can go for a hug. Everything is leading up to a different kind of situation. So maybe he's trying to set up for future rounds as we end the second round right here. And it'll be interesting to see how the health, his stamina is for FNFinest. You can see all the way, the lowest is 98, and that's his health. So he's already in good condition to go in the third round and try to implement more of his strategy for FNFinest.
Yeah, both of these fighters are doing very good, keeping their stamina high, being very economical with it. And Undisputed is doing a good job not overflowing while maintaining some sort of offense of his own, digging to that body. It's sort of hard. JxShepp's not really giving him anything. He's just blocking high, blocking low, being very good with it, and just kind of popping the jab. And whenever an opponent's not being very offensive, it's hard to find openings.
Yeah, and one thing I love what JxShepp is doing is that not only is he's blocking high, because you usually know when you're in a ranked game, you always see someone blocking high and they don't pay attention to the body. He's actually blocking the body like once ever so often, so it's not going to do as much damage. So when you think about the body shots, when you think of the headshots, you need to actually think about where you're going to actually land your strikes. You need to actually change up your levels to find the right opening, because right now he was blocking the body. Just go with his strap. Just try to go with his strap straight. Make sure he blocks up high. That's the main thing that FNFinest needs to do, because look, he lands with a left hook. Now when you go into that range again, try to find your avenues and your openings, because JxShepp is going to give you something, but he wants to get something back.
Oh, yes, he does. Yes, he does. And the strategy from JxShepp is very interesting to watch. I'm liking it. You know, like you said, the defense is there. The body shots are there. I'm wondering if he's going to open up in the later rounds. But right now, he's just very happy with what he's doing. And he's looking good out there. But both guys, even Undisputed Finest, still really targeting that body and trying to find some sort of offense and not put himself at risk.
Yeah, and that'll be the change of mentality, because I feel like once we see the Cubby Box predictions, we'll see how both of these compares react. Well, we see a reaction of the counters back-to-back from FNFinest able to attack the body. Will we see a different change of a situation for JxShepp or FNFinest if they're down 3 rounds to zip, or is it 2 rounds to 1, or will they keep with the same game plan? But you see JxShepp able to answer back, but the body shot's going back away as the blockage was low. But this will be the main determination. What is going to be the reaction of both of these fighters when they see what the judges are thinking, or one judge is thinking going to the next round?
That is a very good point, because no matter what anybody says, when you see that judge's box pop up and whatever it says, it has a mental impact on you. And, you know, I think Undisputed's Finest is doing really good. JxShepp is not really landing too much power. He's not doing too much damage. He could be winning on the judges' scorecards. And no, he's not. Kingsley, look at that. 30-27. His strategy not working. Do you think he makes a change based on what he sees there?
Well, it has to be a different, like, defensively, I think it's all right. It's just there's more output compared to JxShepp. JxShepp, I feel like he's still in the filling out process. It's just a little bit longer than what we're used to in like other fights. Usually by this round, when we see that, we see the fighter go a little bit aggressive. With JxShepp, I feel like he's confident, he's leaning back a little bit more, but now you see the output coming into the body. That's what he needs to do. Well, Finest, if you're him, keep doing what you want to do. Just don't get careless and look for that one mistake. If you get hit, just make sure you take the time to reassess, because now you're up in the scorecards. But this is where JxShepp needs to be. If you go in the phone booth, you could block for 1 or 2, but then get your strikes. Because look, he tried to go for the counter shot and was able to land. If he goes to the body right after that, that might work well in the judges' scorecards.
Yeah, and in this phone booth, in these close quarters, that is Undisputed Finest's wheelhouse. That's Nigel Benn's territory. And these sort of exchanges are way more beneficial for Finest than they are for JxShepp. And JxShepp, I mean, he's starting to open up here. Oh! Detonation!
I saw it because I was worried about the stamina of Finest because you use a lot of combinations, and then when the lunge back, I saw JxShepp perfectly execute a nice straight onto the head and it gets the rock, and that's what he was waiting for. The down roll may be complete, and you can see he's going a little bit aggressive, but now he's trying to make sure his opponent knows, like, I'm still here. You get me with counters, but you need to watch out because I can get you at any possible moment. But there's that one mistake that Finest needs to watch out for. What can he do to adapt to make sure he doesn't do it again? Oh, but he gets hit again with a nice left.
And they're exchanging. This is a good fight, good round so far, round number 4. And here comes JxShepp opening up, throwing some hooks, but Finest still standing right in front of him as we go to the next round. Wow, Kingsley, this is an interesting fight. I'm loving JxShepp's strategy. I mean, if you saw a silhouette of him, you would know who is fighting by watching him. I mean, he's just so unique in his style, and it's a good showing so far.
Yeah, it's a good showing, and this is where you have to pay attention to every single detail of the fighter, because sure, you could be invested in the brawls and invested in the fights. This is the type of fight where you need to look at where they're putting their body shots. When are they taking their times? How long does this be? It's like what some you would see in Street Fighter or in the fighting game community, where you see the footsie game, where you're trying to see where's your opponent going to go. If he reacts this way, how's your opponent reacting the other way? You can see the hooks coming in. When you try to go for uppercut, you can see his opponent attacking the body. Finest is attacking the body a little bit more, but where's that hook is going to come from JxShepp? These are the little intricate points that we need to look out for every single time throughout these rounds.
Yes, you do. A stiff jab snaps back the head of JxShepp. JxShepp coming forward, trying to find his own rhythm, but yes, these moments are so crucial for both of these guys. And look at the body work. Undisputed Finest just finding his way to that downstairs and just flooding the basement and really sapping that energy. And JxShepp's defense looks so good, but he just is not as active, is not as willing to throw. And Nigel Benn is the perfect choice so far for Finest here.
He's just like 1 second away from getting like a perfect counter shot. And look at the bottom left corner next to Nigel Benn's name. The block gauge is usually like halfway around. So maybe JxShepp is looking and say, okay, I'm working on your block gauge a little bit, but now you need to make sure that you can do that consistently and seeing where he's punching. Because I'm like, look at the body shot from JxShepp right there. Working very nicely. My one concern from Fight Night's Finest is when that block gauge is slow and you try to go into a brawl in the very close corners, can you keep up the same energy? Just look at that stamina loss right there. If JxShepp just moves forward, he has an opportunity to attack the body. But with 15 seconds left, he's still feeling comfortable with his game and lands a nice right hook. And you see the block gauge, it's just teetering on just like lower than 50% most of the time.
He's really relying on that block a lot, isn't he? And you're going to have to see JxShepp make a big change, I think, in the latter part of this round. I mean, he does. We saw earlier, he did tag his opponent. You heard him. He has the ability to move and groove and just light the fuse and just detonate on his opponent, but it's just the durability of Daniel Jacobs. Can he withstand the power of Nigel Benn throughout this fight, and I don't think so. I think Finest is scoring. I think he's winning. I think JxShepp needs to fight more aggressively, but I don't think that's in his repertoire.
We'll have to see. I mean, a lot of things could change in the fight. We've seen it before, many times before, especially on this fight card. But now it's up to JxShepp. What can JxShepp do? Can he continue on the game plan? Because it was working. He got the rock. He got what he wanted. It's just in these trades, he needs to goad his opponent in. And that block gauge is low for FNFinest. If he continues on to the punches, he might do so because he's working well to the body, able to land to the head, and that's working really well. And now you see JxShepp. He's not giving his opponent any space to move around. He's in his opponent's face, and he wants to land so many combinations, but he needs to watch out for the counters.
He's right in front of him. The gloves are touching. The blocks are touching. The elbows are near each other. They are so close. And yeah, JxShepp putting extreme pressure on Finest right now, really trying to fight to his best ability, trying his best to be aggressive, trying to change the outlook of this fight and get some juice here. But man, Nigel Benn is fighting valiant, but these punches are landing through the block. Look at that block. It's deteriorating.
Yeah, what is it? The welts? It's the tango because they're so close that they're moving at the same time and they just can't get rid of each other. But you see the combinations. This is the brawl I was talking about. Who is going to get the benefit of it? And it seems like both guys got an equal amount of strikes in, but it's up to JxShepp. JxShepp is put on the pressure. He might have saved a lot of stamina, but this is where he needs to put on the work. 25 seconds left. He wants to get in the range. Will he try to attack the fight? But FNFinest is trying to find his way back, gets hit with a counter. Block gauge. Fairly low for FNFinest. FNFinest getting hit with the body, gets a nice counter, and this is where the counter game goes into effect for JxShepp. Working so well with it here, Rob.
Man, the eye test is telling me right now that JxShepp, it might be taking over round number 6. Oh, big shots at the end as they go to their stools. But man, JxShepp coming forward, having that high block up, Kingsley, and really letting his hands go. And there it is. The CompuBox box says no, 59-55 for Nigel Benn so far.
Yeah, one judge gave JxShepp 1 round. That was the 4th round after seeing the 3 scorecards. Now it's up to FNFinest. Can he be consistent? Can he find his way? He's able to land the body uppercut. He was able to land upstairs, but can he do it consistently? Well, JxShepp trying to use all his defense to implement his offense into the game plan, but so far, FNFinest has been up to the task, able to get the counters he wants, able to get the distance, but again, the block gauge, I'm very scared about that, because as soon as JxShepp wants to turn it on, as he saved so much of his, look at this, he wants to go for the hooks, and that block gauge is so low, he can keep doing it as much as he wants to, and I don't know if this is going to leak out to the punches right here, Rob.
It's so dangerous. You know, Undisputed Finest needs to use his footwork and let that block regenerate, but he's just holding the block, which is not allowing it to regen. And that was very dangerous. JxShepp saw some openings, and you saw a couple punches blast right through that block on Nigel Benn. So a great point, Kingsley. You got to watch out for that as this fight progresses.
Yeah, it could be the eye of the storm, eye of the hurricane situation where you go more close in, and that's where you feel more comfortable because you're not going to be in the range outside where you get pieced up. But a nice counter, a nice right hook from FNFinest, trying to land some offense in, and he's getting the benefit of these. JxShepp just coming in closer and closer, but every time he comes in, he's getting counter. He gets another one and another hook again. FNFinest is finding his opportunities, and he's working so well with them. Can he do it again? Can he find a nice power shot to put an exclamation point onto the situation? But JxShepp finds his way back in, but gets countered again here, Rob.
Yeah, JxShepp needs to watch out because Undisputed has made the adjustment. He knows that jab is coming, no straight punches down the line, and he's moving ever so slightly to the left to get out of the way and throw that left hook. But now the block is so low, and dang, the bell is rung. And here we go, Kingsley. A very dynamic fight. Both guys making adjustments. JxShepp being very aggressive. Undisputed trying to stay out of the way of the jab. We got a freaking war here.
Yeah, we got a war here, and sometimes when you look at the scorecards objectively, you haven't seen the full fight. It doesn't tell the full story of the contest because both guys are going back and forth. It's just the counters are just working so well for FNFinest. It's up to JxShepp. How much of your defense is going to land in the offense? And look at that power shot. Look at the long range of Nigel Benn, able to get some of that hitbox that he had on his opponent. But now it's up to JxShepp, moving against his opponent, trying to land the uppercuts a little bit, just creeping, crawling, trying to find a side step, trying to work around to get his opponent just different. But the jabs, the straights, everything working so well for FNFinest.
Indeed, they are holding that block up high. They're fighting very close. Body
Oh.
shots being thrown out. Both guys landing nicely. And this fight is so dang close. Oh, there it is. The defense, though. Both guys just smashing each other's blocks back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth we go. And FNFinest get, you see the right hook, and then he just ducks under because he's expecting like a strike to come his way, but he's able to avoid it or just limit the amount of impact from JxShepp. But JxShepp still trying to find his way, trying to find his range, trying to see like, if you're going to throw power shots, I'm going to get out of the range and I'm going to jump in and trying to do as much as I can. But so far, he's getting counters. But this is what I'm worried about. He did 3 straights, and it just, like, that takes so much of your stamina right there. He needs to avoid and just change it up a little bit.
Woo! Check left from Finest. Nigel Ben loving this sort of fight. And again, that chin is checked. Right hand lands. Nigel Ben on fire. Fight Night's Finest looking fluid. Digs to the body. And JxShepp getting pieced up as we go to round number 9.
You can see he was powering up for a big shot, and Fight Night's Finest wasn't able to seal the deal. But with 2 more rounds, the penultimate round is coming up, and then we're on to our co-main and main event fights. But so far, Fight Night's Finest, he's been working so well. It'll be interesting to see what the scorecards are in the next round, even if it goes to the next round. But JxShepp, you gotta think, he needs to turn on the gas. He needs to cook with the oven hot. He needs to make sure the pans are ready to go. And this is where he needs to go in. Go into the fire, trying to find your attacks to the body. But every time it comes in, counter. Just every single time it's a parry, and it just, I don't know what the answer is for JxShepp.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle at this point. Fight Night Finest has definitely found his groove. It looks like the block is gonna hold up. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any long-term negation on that. He's just kind of relying on it. It gets a little bit low. That's when JxShepp can counter and have his opportunities. And right here, he needs to go in now, but he just can't see the block like we do. You know, he can't make those reads. Oh, beautiful pull back there, though, Kingsley. Little stinger, and that backs up Finest.
Yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Sometimes it's just like a hair-trigger decision that you need to make. Do you try to play it safe because you don't think you have enough stamina, or do you go in knowing that your opponent's block is fully down? Because sometimes you don't know. It's the fog of war in the contest, and sometimes you need to put that in your mindset and try to study the tape. But when we're getting closer to the 1-minute mark of this 9th round, let's see what JxShepp has in his bag. You see, counters again, just working the distance so well for Fight Night's Finest. I just love what he's doing. Picking his shots every single time. Look at that. Again, he knows the right strategy. Body to the head. It's just working so well for Fight Night's Finest, and he has the stamina to do anything he wants in this contest.
He definitely does. He's looking good. He's looking very fluid out there. Looking like he's in that flow state. And just, the body work and then the punches upstairs. That piston right hand right down the pipe has been money for Finest, and he has just been blocking most of JxShepp's punches. There's a little lean back counter, but nothing there for JxShepp. And JxShepp more of the same, just standing there as we go into the final round of the fight. Mr. Kingsley, we have, I think, a clear winner so far.
You know, we say that, and the judges, the cards say that, but you never know. You have to play it out. You have to fight till the whistle is blown and they call you off. That's why you never leave it to the judges. You need to make sure you're very consistent. And that's what Fight Night's Finest is going to do. Consistently hitting the counters, consistently going into the phone booth and working so well with his block gauge low. But now it's up to JxShepp. What can JxShepp do when he's in that phone booth? Can he find his way with his jab? Can he find his way to go to the branching pass? But every single time, a left hook to the body. It just seems like every time he keeps on stopping, the car says, no, I'm going to break down and I need gas, because Fight Night's Finest is putting the gas on his opponent every single stop, just pickpocketing his shots every single time.
Oh, here we go, though. Look at the block. It's so low. If JxShepp comes forward and keeps that pressure and keeps that block down, he could really do some devastating damage here, and these punches are sort of bleeding through. Finest is still relentless with his offense as well. And these two are just going for it. JX wants it bad, Kingsley.
Yeah, but here's the thing. How much stamina does JxShepp have? He needs to throw everything in. He has 1 minute to go. Let's see how he plays it out. But again, the counters, just the distance game, the point precision of the jab is just working so well. And every time JxShepp is trying to start things to go in the phone booth, FNFinest has found a way every single time with 30 seconds to find his way back. Oh, but needs to watch out for the combinations. 20 seconds left. Here we go. We will possibly go to the judges' scorecards, but how will we get there? By someone getting a knockdown, or will in a blaze of glory with punches coming out? But with 5 seconds, here we go. JxShepp trying to find his way back in, trying to find his defense. Oh, but a nice dig into the body will end the contest. And you have to think it goes to Fight Night's Finest as he gets a cool, clean 2 points to bring his total up to 4 points, while JxShepp is still stuck with 1. And now it's 2-1 for Fight Night's Finest, and that is a big victory for him.
Yes, it is Fight Night's Finest. As the fight went on, you saw him get a little bit better, a little bit more clinical, a little bit more on point in that body work from the opening stages. JxShepp came out with such an interesting strategy, and his defense looked on lock. He was very comfortable standing his ground. You could tell he really wanted to land those counter punches on Fight Night's Finest, but Fight Night Finest recognized this, and he was very patient and really decisive in his decision making throughout those rounds, and able to just continually put on the pain, rely on that block, and take out a dangerous JxShepp. Great job.
Yeah, very good job. And you have to feel for JxShepp. He has put on such a clinical performance. His defense was really good, and Fight Night's Finest was just a little bit better. But JxShepp, I just love what he does. I want to see if he gets another opponent, can his find his way back into a win column, because the fact that he has 1 loss and 1 draw, that has to be tough to swallow, especially after it seemed like he was leading against Pryoxis. But Fight Night's Finest, kudos for both those fighters. But Fight Night's Finest is the belle of the ball of that contest, and was able to get the victory and hopefully start a big career in the regular season. But speaking of big careers, chat, do you want to start a career where you can solve problems, work with your hands, and make some good money? If so, then consider becoming a commercial food equipment technician. The industry is booming, and there is such a high demand for qualified technicians. Apply for the CFESA Service Hero Scholarship today by scanning one of our QR codes shown during today's stream. I'm sure it's somewhere around it. It's probably down below. It's right down below us where you can scan it and start with the scholarship. And plus, you don't even need a college degree. So the industry is booming. You don't have to worry about student loans or anything. This is a perfect win-win opportunity for you guys, and we want to help you guys out as much as the ESFA helps us with our production and everything that goes on for the ESFL. So again, thank you so much, CFESA, for sponsoring us and just helping us with such a fantastical production. But again, we still have 2 more fights to go here, Rob, and this is the co-main event. It is Pryoxis going against SVG-King12Diaz, and this is gonna be a tasty matchup here, Rob. What do you got for us?
Man, this is going to be exciting. And on the scouting report, it says King12Diaz is actually not in Toon Squad, but is a friend of the camp. Very interesting. That's in the notes. Pryoxis, though, the head of the Toon Squad, the head of the snake of the dominant fight camp that is the Toon Squad. This guy from Tennessee, a legend of the game, a legend of UFC, defeated Roysten by decision in week 2, went to a decision against JxShepp in week 1, now here with 3 points, 1 win, 1 draw. King, 1 win, 1 loss. These two in the co-main event really want a win to move themselves up to that upper echelon of the division. And this co-main event is going to be super exciting. I mean, Pryoxis is just a devastating technical player. I can't wait to see what he brings to the table, who he picks, and King also a dominant player as well. Kingsley, this is going to be exciting.
This is going to be very, very exciting. This is the reason why it's a co-main event, because there's a lot of stakes into this. Again, Pryoxis, the fact that he had that draw and a win, he only has 3 points. A draw gives you 1 point each for both competitors. But Pryoxis, knowing that he has to contend with 4-point fighters and 5-point fighters, and not even a 6-point fighter. There's a lot at stake for his Elite 8 playoff seeding, so we'll have to see. Well, I remember talking to him back in week 1. He's all about putting on fun fights, just having fun out there. The pressure, the spotlight is not as big as it would seem for someone of his caliber. For King Diaz, all the spotlights are all on him to see what he could possibly do against such a high caliber fighter, Pryoxis. So there's a lot of pressure on King Diaz, but a lot of fun for Pryoxis. So let's see how interesting this fight is. Ryan Garcia is for Pryoxis in the co-main event, and then on the blue side for Jorge, it goes for King Diaz in the blue, and we are getting this co-main event. I am live here with Rob. I am Kingsley. We are sponsored by CFESA, and we're bringing you this co-main event in week 3 of the Undisputed season. Let's go.
And Pryoxis's Ryan Garcia is absolutely dangerous. His ability to counter, stay at range, and just decimate his opponent with lethal combinations. I mean, this is one of his better picks.
Yeah, absolutely. We apologize if you might hear a little bit of in-game commentary. We'll try to commentate as loud as you can so you can hear what we're talking about the fight. But so far, this is what Pryoxis used to like to do. We saw it with JMMA and a part of the Toon Squad. It's just like they like to take a little bit of a time to like get settled into the fight, see what their opponent's doing. But with Pryoxis, you can see he's just coming in, working with the jabs, trying to find his distance. I love his range management so far. While King Diaz, he's trying to do the same thing, but he's lunging a little bit back, trying to attack the body a little bit, trying to work with his hooks. Every time he sees his opponent come in, he's trying to implement at least a 1-2 combo. Not really going with the long extended combos, but something to give his opponent something to think about.
100%, that's what you want to do. Overload the neuro center of your opponent and really overclock their CPU. And that's what Pryoxis is so good at. But King looking pretty good with Linares, trying to fight outside as well, not to get countered by the Ryan Garcia. And so far, so good for both these guys, right? You know, Pryoxis just establishing his game plan, staying at range, keeping in rhythm.
Yeah, but a good back-to-back counter from King Diaz. King Diaz was doing such a nice job so far as we're approaching the last couple of seconds of the first round right here. Pryoxis is able to get it work on the body, able to land a body uppercut onto his opponent, and that's where he ends off with the first round. So we'll have to see if that's going to be more of his strategy going into the second round here. Because with Pryoxis, we know that he's very technical with his striking. He will be very selective of how he wants to pick off his opponent. But will he try to start off with a better start point from week 1 from what I remember? While King Diaz, he needs to work on more of trying to find his opponent's weak spots. Maybe working onto the body, maybe possibly doing something differently. We'll have to find out. But again, with the second week, the hooks are coming in from King Diaz. But with Pryoxis, body shots, that will work with the counter. That scores in the judges' scorecards there, Rob.
It definitely will. And Pryoxis with Ryan Garcia, his ability to maintain that sweet spot, that range, with his right hand being like a piston, a sniper, and that jab just like a little like test dummy, just to see where he could go with his combinations. How are we feeling right now, Kingsley? Who's taking over this fight? Who's winning this fight?
Ooh, I'm liking the counters that we're seeing from King Diaz, but Pryoxis, you can't come out. Like the first 2 rounds, I feel like it's a misnomer because he can easily turn out when he wants to. Because look at that. The backstab into a jab, getting a counter, that's the thing that makes Pryoxis so well versed in this game. Because he can do that all day. He can work on his opponent and just keep at that consistent pace as much as he's won. And now it's up to King Diaz. How do you react in this chess game against Pryoxis? Pryoxis, he's in his comfort zone, in this range, and he's doing a lot better job than what I'm seeing from other fighters of keeping this distance. He's not trying to fully fight in the phone booth. He's trying to keep his range and have his opponent react to it.
He is relying heavily on that jab. King needs to realize that and move off that center line, but there's that check left hook as well. And Ryan Garcia's left hook is money. There's the body shot as well from Pryoxis, and King Diaz fighting from a long ways away, trying to find some offense himself.
Yeah, he was able to find some offense with that little bit of an uppercut into a left hook. Not really getting like the maximum of the damage, but able to put some on his opponent. I mean, look, jabs, straights, they will bring the opponent's head back a little bit. But again, counters like that from Pryoxis will do wonders. In the straight, while your opponent's throwing, it works wonders. And going back to the corners, just saying respectable round. 91% for the health of Pryoxis. A little bit of red swelling. You see that little white bar just like teetering on, just saying I'm here. So you need to be careful about. But that's what you were talking about, Rob. The left hooks from Jorge could be very dangerous if he wants to.
Yeah, here we go. Round number 3. Here comes King. Eats a right hand right off the bat. And it just seems like this realm of the fight, this is benefiting a Ryan Garcia player, especially at the helm is Pryoxis, keeping him way out on the range. And it's going to be King Diaz's job to find a way to get inside to avoid those straight down the pipe punches and do some damage.
Yeah, you know, he's kind of this in-between standard where Pryoxis is not fully in the center of the ring, but he's not fully outside the ring as well. He's keeping it like a manageable distance where he can do-si-do around his opponent. Well, King Diaz is on like a center line, and he can try to pick up his opponent and say where his opponent is. He needs to find a way to get in his opponent's face, but counters, jabs, every single time, just moving back. Pryoxis has a read on everything, and it's working so well. But again, body shots like that will keep King Diaz in the fight.
They will, for sure. He needs more of that, though. I mean, every time, you know, Pryoxis is kind of just baiting in King Diaz. He's like a black hole. He's trying to slurp in King Diaz's offense, and as soon as King Diaz comes forward, Pryoxis meets him with the jab, meets him with the straight, and then he'll combo off of it. Then he'll move and he'll groove. So King's got to be careful not to get lulled to sleep, and he needs to stay off that center line big time. Take angles.
Like you just saw, like in those moments ago when we saw the back-to-back counters from Pryoxis, you can just see the movement, the distance game of just moving back and able to land everything he wants. Now it's up to King Diaz. What can he do towards the body? Is he going to keep on going for the body uppercut to the left, or is he going to try to find a different avenue? Because you do it so many times that Pryoxis is going to get a read on it, or any kind of fighter is going to get a read on it. So with these last 15 seconds, can you do something differently to give your opponent something to think about? And that's going to be the main case. But look at the straights. Look at the hooks coming in from King Diaz. That's something to give Pryoxis to think about. But again, counters will come in heavy. And we'll have to see what the Country Box predictions has to think about those last 3 rounds. Because even though Pryoxis, he's getting the counters and the jabs, he's not the strongest damaging moves that you want to see in a contest.
Yeah, very technical, very, you know, slow, methodical start, as we always see with Pryoxis, with jmma. They take those first couple of rounds and they dissect. And it looked like King got the first 2 rounds, and then Pryoxis just got that last one. So King in a good position here, and as long as he keeps that pressure, keeps the offense, and keeps Pryoxis on his, you know, back. Well, Pryoxis loves to be on his back foot, but as long as he keeps Pryoxis uncomfortable and slurps that space away from him, he'll be fine.
Yeah, it's the thing of the body uppercuts for King Diaz is working. He's doing it so many times that's working. It's connecting. He's laying some hooks. With Pryoxis, he's getting the counters, but they're jabs or straights. If he lands like a counter hook or a counter hook to the body, maybe that gives more in the judges' like favor a little bit, because he's working so well. He's picking off his opponent, but it's just the jabs can only do so much. Unless he gets a rock, it doesn't seem like it's favorable with the judges. So with the halfway point of this 4th round, let's see if Pryoxis can move in and just work on his opponent. He gets the body stuff, but again, the hooks coming from King Diaz, it's scoring more points.
Yeah, very, very good points there. And King Diaz definitely letting the bigger shots go. But, you know, Pryoxis is notorious for kind of slowly heating up, slowly putting his opponent into the crock pot and slow cooking him till the end, where he starts opening up. He usually gives up these earlier rounds, and yeah, he's just still doing more of the same, just popping them when he comes in and just, you know, connecting with these slick technical shots.
So along with like the slow cooker, the pressure cooker situation, Rob, how would you think? Where do you think he needs to turn up? Do you think he needs to go to like round 6 or round 7 to turn it up, or do you think you just stay with this, try to go because you know you're picking off your opponent? Because he lands a nice straight right there, but the judges, there's so many rounds that you're going to have. So would you try to stay consistently and turn it up in the 6th round, or do you just try to do it right now, go into this 5th round right here?
That is the really tough question. That's the hard part about this game, is like, which round do you activate? Which round do you start like really putting the gas pedal down? Because sometimes you could do it a little bit too late and you wish, damn, I wish I would have done it a little bit sooner. But I usually start about round number 7 or round number 8, depending where I'm at. I like to really put the pressure on my opponent. But against a guy like Pryoxis, I'm staying in his face. I'm moving left and right. I'm staying off that center line, and I'm just putting him into a brawl, and I'm taking that technical aspect out of the game.
Yeah, you can see Diaz. He's trying to work with his straight, and he gets a nice right hook. But this is where Pryoxis, I was starting to say, like, if he goes with the left hook counter, that's going to score points, and he's able to use it. He already landed twice of those. So let's see if he could do it more and more. Maybe go to the body on the right side, because I know that's open up. Because you see his opponent, he's leaning more to the right, but a good counter shot to the face of Pryoxis. King Diaz doing a nice job to answer back.
Yeah, he is. He's doing a phenomenal job. Pryoxis really trying to measure with his jab and his footwork, trying to stay out of the range of Linares. But Diaz, eats a nice shot there, Kingsley, and this fight is slowly but surely starting to heat up just a bit here in round number 5.
Yeah, you can already see the hooks are coming in, the straights are coming in. He gets it again. This is dangerous if you're King Diaz. You can enter back, but he's attacking the body now to the right side. This is where he wants to be, and it seems like this is exactly the game plan that he wants. Pryoxis is able to land out opportunities, but again, he needs to watch out for his sound, trying to recoup that, while King Diaz trying to find his way back in, trying to use the jab, trying to use the branching moves to find his way back in. But with 30 seconds left, the counter after counter after counter, it's just working so well for Pryoxis.
Yeah, it really is. The jab, the head of King being snapped back. Ooh, King still, though, doing pretty dang good inside of this ring here, and against a legend like Pryoxis, holding his own nicely. Pryoxis just peppering him, though.
Yeah, and like sometimes it makes the opponent a little bit salty when you pepper him so much, but the fact that Pryoxis is able to land all these shots, King Diaz, he's still moving forward. It's just maybe he needs to continue, because the judges like what he's doing, but can he keep it consistently going throughout these next rounds? Because it'll be really telling what Pryoxis does coming out of this round. Will he try to go more into the aggressive style of what he wants to do, or will he still try to stay as a technician as he is? Right now, you can see he's moving a little bit forward. He's staying center of the ring. And King Diaz, he's trying to land with a hook, but a body. And those are the combinations. You see a little sneak peek of it. That's what King Diaz needs to watch out for. Because now Pryoxis is like, okay, I got you set up. Now I can hit you with some body shots and now go up to the head.
For sure. And we saw in that JxShepp fight, Pryoxis' first fight, when he was down trying to play technical, he was able to turn it on and just ensnare his opponent and really just, onslaught onto him. And JxShepp is a totally different fighter than King12, but King is trying his best to find some sort of rhythm here, but he's just getting tagged again and again and again, and Pryoxis is finding his mark and finding his rhythm. But King might be up on the judges' scorecards. Who knows? Are they judging the technical punches? Are they judging the power punches? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It seems like the power shots are working, but counters like that, even though it was a counter with the jab, he's been using the hooks, he's been using the body a little bit more. But this works. This works for Pryoxis. It's money. It's always gonna land. It's just all about these power shots. When you go into the phone booth right here, can you open up King Diaz where he makes another mistake? Why Pryoxis, he gets hit with a counter himself, and it seems like the judges like a jab counter going against a jab hook. It's gonna be more in favor of King Diaz, but now it's up to Pryoxis as he goes into a power counter uppercut. This is where Pryoxis is gonna turn it up.
Oh, he's definitely turned it up. You're seeing him throwing some more power combinations behind his jab, and sometimes he'll switch it up. Instead of the jab, he'll catch King with that straight, and then he'll add that left hook. And you saw that beautiful rear hand uppercut land flush as well. So Pryoxis is slowly turning that dial and starting to put some more pop and some more effort into these rounds offensively.
Yeah, now we're from a simmer, now we're going to a little bit of a medium heat. Going to the counter blocks are ready to go. And you can see it's shorting up. It's still like a 2-round lead. We saw that Pryoxis got round number 5, but it's 58-56 in favor of King Diaz. So King Diaz, what he's doing for one judge is working really well, more than Pryoxis is doing. But you see the power straights coming in for Pryoxis. He's going to try to use that move a little bit more. You can see the jabs trying to land nicely, but a nice left body hook will do some damage onto its opponent.
Damn, that was some damage. And you see the Pryoxis movement now. He's sneaking out of the way of those straight down the pipe shots and really throwing those hooks, countering nicely. And I'm very intrigued to see what King can do here, because I mean, it does say he's up on one judge's scorecards, but you never know on the other two, so he still has to fight very, very cautiously.
Yeah, I mean, Pryoxis was in this situation before, and he was able to get a draw out of the whole situation. But now it's a little bit closer than what that JxShepp fight was. So he has plenty of room, plenty of time to turn things up. This is round 7. There's 3 more rounds after this. So he could definitely take it back and go into the 9th round tied up and make it the 10th round be the be-all end-all. But it's up to King Diaz. What can he answer back? Because we're approaching the 1 minute mark, and he wants to attack the body a little bit more, trying to go for a body uppercut. But Pryoxis keeping his distance, keeping the range. You see the lunging, going back, a little bit of a dance, going back and forth. So far, both guys want to make sure that they put an exclamation point in this round.
Oh yeah, you saw a couple of, or both of them leaning back, missing, and the accuracy being tested by these guys' phenomenal head movement. And there's Pry still just popping that jab and mixing in the power jab every now and then. You know he wants to throw that straight lead hook as well. It's there, but a little out of range is King to alleviate some of that Pryoxis special. And here we go, round number 8, Kingsley.
The hooks.
What a fight.
It's indeed like a very interesting fight, and you see the hooks, you see the counters coming in nice from Pryoxis, and I saw that Pryoxis' health was at like around the 70 or 75. The fact that he stayed consistently and hasn't taken that much damage, but the main key part is that he has a cut on his left side of his face. So what King Diaz needs to find out, can he actually see the left side? Can he actually pinpoint and use more of those hooks? Because he's landing very nicely. He's looking for the hooks. He's looking for the left side. He can do it again, and he lands very nicely with the right as well. So King Diaz, he's able to be in a fight and be able to be in this boxing match.
Oh yeah, he is competing right now for sure. Pryoxis still, his mental gears are fluid, well lubricated. Bang, piston right hand connects on King Diaz. King Diaz somehow, some way staying in this fight with his own onslaught of punches and still standing his ground. But I don't know, Pryoxis just seems like he's picking him apart here, Kingsley.
Yeah, he's definitely picking him apart, and that's what Pryoxis does. Again, counters into the jab. Oh, you see he was winding up. He wanted to get it with a nice hook, but he knew he was in range, so he got rid of it. And a nice little left-right from Pryoxis working really well. But King Diaz, God, every time he moves forward, I'm just fearful for his life. Because either he's getting countered or he's getting hit with a hook. He can't enter in with just anything. He needs to find a way to bring his opponent in, but Pryoxis is just so patient with his movement that when he wants to go in, he'll let you know when he wants to go in. He's not going to be dictated by anybody else's movement.
Definitely not. He's on, he's on his game, and King, he's coming in, he's getting popped, and then he's backing out. If he's gonna eat a punch, I think you should come forward, take that punch, and then give a few and get on the inside, and do some damage. There's a nice little straight there from King Diaz, but this outside fighting doesn't seem to be in the favor of King Diaz.
Yeah, but every time he goes in, he gets hit with a trade where he gets hit to the body, he gets hit with a hook. It's like, pick your poison. Do you want to play a little bit outside, or do you want to go in the phone booth? There's no safe space in this ring. You're going to get hit every single time. And with 10 seconds left in this 8th round, going to the 9th, Pryoxis seems to be more of his flow state, bringing his opponent's head back a little bit, and King Diaz trying to find a lot more answers because the equation gets a little bit more complex every single round heading into it. And now in the 9th round, you need to find a way to get in there and find your way to find your openings.
That was a good one right there, Kingsley. Let's go. Yes, sir. He's got to find, the problem or the solution, and that's a lot harder when the equation is such a challenging one in Pryoxis. And you saw the end of that round, he was starting to move and groove. And I feel like Pryoxis in rounds number 9 and 10, that's when he is the most dangerous. Most data has been downloaded, and now you're seeing him stand his ground a little bit. He's not giving up that center anymore. He's stationary punching, and he's looking for the kill.
Yeah, he's looking for the kill, but King Diaz, every time he goes in, I just want to see him work again, just straight into a counter. He's trying to go for the body uppercut, but he's not fully getting the range fully. But I know once he gets in the phone booth, he goes for these hooks, and they do connect. It's just Pryoxis. What can he do with a range game? Because look at that, a straight into it, and he tries to follow with like another combination that doesn't fully land flush. But how do you enter in? It's just like something like a Rubik's Cube of what you want to do. Do you want to go to the left side? Do you want to go to the right side? Can you go in and out? What other things? But a good counter, a left hook from King Diaz. And with 1 minute to go, it's going to be very interesting how the judges' scorecards are going to look, because it still could be King Diaz's fight, but the way Pryoxis is going about this fight, he's just working really well. He's using more straights. He's getting the hooks with a counter. It's working so well. So it could be tied up. Pryoxis could be up by 1, or King Diaz could still be up, and he's been doing such a great job. But we'll have to find out. But with 30 seconds here, Rob, this is going to be very important who takes this round.
Yeah, most definitely. I think Pryoxis is taking these later rounds. He's putting his stamp on this fight. I think he's in the control, or he's in the driver's seat. And you asked, what can King do to get inside of the range, get inside on Pryoxis, do some damage, to hit up Harry Potter and get his invisibility cloak, put that on, because that's the only way, because Pryoxis just too good, too damn accurate, and too damn lethal.
And that's what I said, the last 3 rounds, round 7, 8, 9, this is where Pryoxis turns it up. And this is where King Diaz needs to find a solution real quick, because this is the final question of the test, the last question on the exam. Can you find a way to bring it back? Because you don't know. It could be a split decision. It could be a draw. Pryoxis is now up in the cards, and this is where now he could be in his flow state, because now he knows that you have to come at him. He can do whatever he wants. He needs to find a way to come back in. So it's up to King Diaz. What can he do in the last 2 minutes here, Rob?
He needs to come out. He needs to zig and zag and find the bomb, the detonation, the switch, the off switch, the power switch on Pryoxis, and turn his lights off.
Ooh, but good body shots and good combinations coming from King Diaz. He knows the height of the situation. He knows that he's in a very peculiar situation right here. Getting up body uppercuts, getting the jabs in. Now it's up to Pryoxis. What can he do to answer back? He's trying to find the distance, trying to find a fumble. Oh, but a good counter with a jab. Now we're going a little bit back and forth. Now we're turning out the pressure a little bit. We went from a hot simmer, and now we're into a boil. The pressure cooker is boiling, and with 1 minute left, who is going to take this fight? Good counters from King Diaz. Pryoxis trying to answer back with a combination of his own. Not able to fully get it. Now we're going back and forth. Nice hook from King Diaz. Able to land a little bit flush. Now, in the fumble. Get the biceps. Oh! 1, 2, 3. And you ought to say what Pryoxis can do with a vicious rock. 30 seconds left. So King Diaz still has time. But now, Pryoxis feeling good. Feeling great about the situation. 15 seconds left here, Rob. What can possibly happen?
The Prying Mantis has finished off the masterpiece. He connects beautifully on King Diaz, and I think that's smooth sailing into the victory. I think we're going to see his hands get raised right now. That was a crucial round right there, round number 10. Whoever took that one, I believe, took the fight. I think Pryoxis won all of those last 3 to 4 rounds, and that's why Pryoxis is talked about. That's why he is a legendary player, is because his ability to slow roast you into the end zone and finish you.
Yeah, and it was a story of 2 halves, right? In the judges' scorecards, we saw King Diaz. He got the first 2 rounds and the 4 and the 6. Everyone was pretty much unanimous. But when it came to the later rounds, when Pryoxis starting to turn on the heat a little bit and instead of just going with the counter jabs, started going with the counter body shots to the body left hooks and right hooks, he was able to put his strategy, and it went super consistent. And that's what you need to learn from watching Pryoxis, because you think, oh, maybe he's down on the cards and King Diaz does such a nice job, but it only takes a matter of time before Pryoxis downloads your game plan, and now he could do whatever he wants. You can see the breadcrumbs piecing up in every single part of that whole fight there, Rob.
Yeah, you really can. And Pryoxis is someone that over time is going to, master the judges and understand what they're looking for out there. And his only weakness has only been like, maybe the judges giving him a bad decision, in my opinion, or maybe starting off a little too slow. But in this game, I think this is where he's going to even shine brighter than UFC, because of his abilities, the way he plays, the technician he is. And in boxing and Undisputed especially, you really have a lot of time to work with and a lot of time to, suck the oxygen out of that ring and devastate your opponent, the way he just did there again. And 5 points. He didn't get the knockout. He didn't get 6. It's just so cool how like these players are incentivized to get these knockouts. But yeah, Pryoxis with a W. King Diaz with a great fight. Started off early, but just didn't have what it took to finish it off.
Yeah, and just to give a reminder to people, that points is very crucial because now with Loso with his knockout and his win, he's the lead goal getter with 6 points. But now you have Job with 5 points, and now you have Pryoxis with 5 points coming
Mm.
up with our main event. So,
Ooh.
people in the chat, live
Hype
on
us up,
Twitch and
Kingsley.
on
Hype us
YouTube,
up.
I will tell you this: I saw the week one of both of these guys put it on the show. There was time and time again where I thought, oh, there should be a flag on the play, but that's how these guys get down. Because, ladies and gentlemen, on Twitch and on YouTube, even on Discord, presented by the CFESA, it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. It is your main event of week 3. It is EyeGameUWatch, the leading go-getter starting into this week 3 with the 5 points. Undefeated. On the opposite side, Addict85, an addict for winning, an addict for being undefeated, 2-0. So-and-so has to go. And Rob, you know these guys are going to put on the show.
Yes, I do. We got Addict, 4 points, 2 wins, no losses. He's a counter puncher, super efficient with his stamina. He beat Talent by decision week 1, beat him doing work by decision. He is a tactician. This kid, do not underestimate him because this is the first real test, in my opinion, for EyeGameUWatch. He's fighting an opponent that has a couple of wins, that has some confidence, but we know who has the most confidence probably in this entire division, and that's the swag daddy himself. EyeGameUWatch, the pelvic thrusting piston, beat Woke's fan by KO week 1, game over by decision week 2. He's swag adocious out there, but he's also lethal like a TNT bomb waiting to explode. And this main event is going to be absolutely lit, Kingsley.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 pumps. 3 pumps he did to the person in the week 1. But now this is a big test. This is for first place in the top of the seedings of the regular season to be the #1 guy going into the bye week. And again, I love the fact that we have a Terrence Crawford going against a Sugar Ray Robinson, I think. This is a big matchup, a dream matchup. The fact that these guys have put in so much of their content, so much of their TikTok followers, and their effort, their time, their blood, sweat, and tears into this contest. This is what the main event's all about. It's Kingsley, it's ESFL, it's the main event presented by CFESA, and we're getting things going again here, people. Rob, this is going to be a barn burner.
I can't wait. I'm going to throw gasoline on that barn. I want everything to burn down. The ESFL's burning down. We're on fire. It's too damn lit. And he started out, you saw it, EyeGame. I don't know if you missed it, Kingsley, but he started out with the groove, with the pelvic ooze, and he's ready to put down the fuse.
Here we go. Will we see a combustion of elements in this contest? But again, Addict85 uses Terrence Crawford on the blue side with 4 points. On the left side is EyeGameUWatch, the leading go-getter with 5 points, undefeated. If he wins this, he could get a maximum of 8 points, but also with a win, brings up to 7, so he will be the go-getter. But again, counters back and forth for the first round. If this is any inclination of what we're in for, buckle your seatbelts, people. We're going on a hell of a roller coaster, because so far, Terrence Crawford, we know about his defense. He's like a Floyd Mayweather light, where he could just shell up and just work on his counter punching. Well, Sugar Ray Robinson, with those 3 pumps, you know he's going to put on the show with that old classic boxing style. And you can see that the purpose is to play the mental games against his opponent. You see the body shots coming in from Addict85, but EyeGameUWatch says, listen here, kid, this is my show. I deserve to be in the main event. He complained about not being in the main event in the first week, and now he's consistently in the main event. He doesn't talk the talk, he walks the walk, and he wants to show it against Addict85 in this week 3.
Are you seeing him pump?
I see it.
You seeing it? Okay.
I see it.
As
it's
long
a
as
yellow
you're seeing
card
it.
for me, but you know, it gets the people going, apparently. That's why I've been told I'm too old for this stuff. But again, for the first round, you see the body shots from Addict85 working very well, and that's something that he needs to be very careful about, because Addict85 is no slouch. He's undefeated for a reason. So for EyeGameUWatch, you love the show, but you love the tenacity that he has, but he needs to make sure that he puts it on his opponent as well.
Oh man, that is just amazing stuff right now. I can't stop giggling, and there he is opening this round, just gigging in the corner, and he's maybe throwing off his opponent with that sort of strategy, dance moves, and he's got the ability to box here, and now taking center stage in the middle of the ring. And so far, Terrence Crawford, aka Addict. Oh, look at a little shimmy right there,
Ooh.
Kings. How you feeling about that shimmy shim?
You know, it's not Muhammad Ali like, but you know, like I'll allow it. I'll allow it. So far, he's proven himself right. I'm gonna hold my comments. But if he gets rocked or he gets knocked down because of it, I'll just say I try to warn you guys. But with 2 minutes to go in the second round, this is where the fight's gonna be. You can see the distance game from EyeGameUWatch is working really well, but the body shots from Addict85 is working. Both guys are using their stamina very well. It's just all about what EyeGameUWatch. When is he going to turn it up? When is he going to find a way to implement his strategy and work on this point? Because right now, every time he's going in, he's getting hit. Even though he's working the block gauge, he's working. Oh, but a vicious left hook from EyeGameUWatch, and that's going to score some points.
Definitely. And this is a big test for EyeGameUWatch. Addict is a very good player. Ooh, and Addict can steal the thunder. And ooh, a couple big shots there by Addict. Sniping him up right there. Beautiful stuff. Watch out for that stamina, though. He's got to get out of there.
Yeah, and he's still through. I'm surprised he didn't go all the way fully back, because we know that Terrence Crawford, he doesn't have the biggest stamina. So if he's going at the pace, he's not going to be at it throughout all 10 rounds. He needs to be very, very careful. But again, Bone Doing Work told us that no stam gain is a viable strategy in this whole situation. So EyeGameUWatch, what is he going to do? We see counters coming hot and heavy, but with 8 seconds left, EyeGameUWatch doing a nice job avoiding the hooks, and we'll end it and go into the third round. But oh, they're still fighting. My God, jabs coming out.
Yeah, and that was a close round number 2, and this is the first time we're seeing a much more even fight with EyeGameUWatch, because Addict is just that good, and Addict really able to land a lot of these snapshot punches, these highlight punches that are going to score really well in the judges' eyes. But so far, so good for GameUWatch as well. Both of these guys fighting phenomenally here in this main event.
And you know what the craziest thing, I remember from week 1 from talking to him, Addict85 was so appreciative of the opportunity to be on a big spotlight of the ESFL that he wanted to make sure that it wasn't taken for granted. So he wants to put a show on every single time. While EyeGameUWatch, you know that he's all about the bravado, but he's all about putting the work as well. So both these guys have such like a deep appreciation of being into this contest, trying to show up for the spotlight and for the people of the ESFL, that they want to put on such a great show. But with the body shots of EyeGameUWatch, with the technical abilities of where he's trying to go in, he needs to be very careful, because Addict85 has the same mentality, and he's trying to work on the body as well.
100%, yeah. You know, you're seeing EyeGameUWatch keep that block high. He's moving pretty well, staying out of the, staying off that center line with his footwork. And you're seeing Addict just kind of tagging him with this jab and really scoring well, going with the hook, and just finding his mark again and again. Addict, doing very well.
Ooh. And you see, like, it's along with the jab, but it's also the jab along with the hook. It's the jab along with the uppercuts. It's everything that's leading after it that's working so well for Addict85. While EyeGameUWatch, he's moving forward towards his opponent. He's able to get the jabs, but what can you do right after? Can you attack the body and find your way back in? He gets a nice body uppercut, but can you follow up? Because again, counters landing nicely for the jab, and it's just the follow-ups are just a little bit better from Addict85.
Yeah, they are. That power jab there again snaps back the head of EyeGameUWatch, and also that straight punch. And EyeGameUWatch walking right into Addict's offense, and Addict is more than happy to keep dishing these out. Ooh. Nice stuff so far from Addict.
Yeah, nice stuff so far. I know Job and Pryoxis are looking at this contest knowing that they're probably going to have to see him in the playoffs or maybe in the later part of the regular season, because these guys are definitely putting on a show. But the one thing I'm very curious about Terrence Crawford, his stamina. Even though it's still in the 80s, can he keep up the same pressure as he has been doing? Because if he whips, if he makes a mistake, he will be in trouble. But at the Copy Box prediction score, Terrence Crawford at 85 has won the last 2 rounds, while EyeGameUWatch won the first round. So it's up to Addict85. Can he bounce back in the 4th round and continue on with that pressure?
Yeah, I believe so. I think he's fighting very, very good here, very economical, moving very well, staying defensive, blocking most of EyeGameUWatch punches, and just kind of devastating with him with that jab, and really finding his way through the defensive EyeGameUWatch. And EyeGameUWatch really putting on the pressure here, standing in the center of the ring and just trying to figure out how can I get this guy to make a mistake.
Yeah, I'm loving the hooks. I'm loving the jabs that lead off of it. But then when you go into the phone booth right here, what's the move? Because look at that. Addict85 landing some nice clean shots along with the counters. And it seems like every time you go in, when they're about to land a strike, it seems like Addict85 is getting more of those trades. Again, a counter. Just clean counters, something that we see from Pry. But Addict85 is putting his own twist on it. His different kind of strategy along with the body shots. But with EyeGameUWatch, taking more of the center of the ring, he needs to put a little bit more damage onto his opponent.
For sure, and he's trying. He's putting in that effort, putting that pressure, taking that space away from Addict. It's just Addict's response to this is just beautiful. And that power jab has been absolutely money for Addict, just right through the block. And, you know, EyeGame needs to stay on a swivel. He needs to move and groove because that left hand is educated on Addict there.
Yeah, it needs to be really careful for Addict. Right now, if you go in those trades, even though you're feeling it, you're feeling like you're a bit of a flow state, EyeGameUWatch will find a way to punish you at any possible moment. Just like right there with the left hook, landing very clean and very flush. Addict85 trying to answer back, but with 8 seconds to go, here we have to see how are they going to end this round and try to adapt their strategies. Because we saw previous rounds, 5th round was the turning point for some people. Can it be the turning point for any of these competitors going in the 5th round?
It's a great question. You know, we've always seen EyeGameUWatch in these scenarios where he's kind of just bullying his opponent in there, right? He's playing ahead and he's whooping some booty and he's getting real comfortable in there. This is kind of the first time we're seeing him in a real fight where he's being tested, and we're gonna really see and learn a lot about what kind of competitor he is, facing a little bit of adversity in Addict. And Addict, man, just showing that he is him. He is that guy. He is deserving to be here. And with a big win here, man, that would be so huge for his career and for his spot in the rankings.
You know, he's trying to be Timothy Charlemagne, but we see EyeGameUWatch. He was able to land some like clean combinations with the hook, like right here in this fumble. That's perfect. Going to the body. That's why I'm like what I'm seeing from EyeGameUWatch, because once he closes in, he goes hook, jab, go to the body 2 times, and that works. Because Addict85 is not used to that. He didn't see that from EyeGameUWatch before, but now he's using different strategies. So what can you do in that first week? He's off to a very good start with a halfway mark in the 5th round.
Most definitely. And here we go, still moving left, moving right, trying to take any sort of angle to make his opponent Addict miss. But Addict also being super careful with his own offense not to get countered. And you're seeing a lot more body straights and long jabs to that body from EyeGame. And they're making adjustments here in this midpoint of this fight.
Yeah, definitely the adjustments are very much needed. Again, the hooks come in nice and heavy from both competitors. Even I was going to say it for EyeGameUWatch. Oh! Addict getting hit with a vicious bomb, but that's the key point. You saw the stamina was low and the blockade was slow as well.
Yep.
EyeGameUWatch felt the situation and he was able to get it. Now with 15 seconds, can he turn out the pressure? This is where he wants to be. I was very curious of where Terrence Crawford was going to be with his stamina gains.
Yeah, he looks pretty good here. Going in round number 6, looks like about at least 70. We're about to see a clear number.
Right.
He's doing pretty good. Yeah, 83%. Oh, that's the head. That's the health.
Oh, yeah, that's the hell. The 83%. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So his stamina looks pretty good, you know. But what is a big thing to know is EyeGameUWatch had the biggest punch in the fight in that 5th round, and that's gonna give him some confidence. And not that he needs any more confidence, but we're seeing that he can compete with someone as dangerous and talented as Addict. So EyeGame proving that he's the real deal as well in this main event fight.
Yeah, it was like you were trying to hold your breath, waiting for the big shot, and then he was able to exhale, getting like that monkey off his back. Like, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Now it's the right situation. Now I could go back more into my game plan. Well, for Addict85, he's circling around his opponent, but he keeps on getting hit with all of these hooks. And again, the counters, it's so punishing what EyeGameUWatch. And when Addict85 is trying to be super aggressive, he needs to watch out for the trades, because the trades are now going against him, and EyeGameUWatch is taking more and more of the center of the ring.
Yeah, and really moving to the left a lot and trying to seemingly bait Addict into pursuing him and maybe be more of a counter puncher. And Addict this round is sort of stepping forward, but still being methodical, still being careful. And both these guys a little hesitant this round.
Yeah, a little bit hesitant, but again, it's just so many mistakes could turn around. Oh, vicious body from the Addict85. But again, every time he goes for these like long 5-punch combos or 4-punch, that 7-up goes all the way down to like 1/3 left. And there's so much you can't capitalize off. Well, EyeGameUWatch, Sugar Ray Robinson, we know that he has 7-up for days, so he can keep up this pace with 30 seconds. What can Addict85 do more? And he's getting some combinations, but the counter with the straight from EyeGameUWatch is going to pay dividends in the future. But again, it's like a tennis match. You take one, I take one. It goes back and forth every single time here, Rob.
Yeah, these two are firing missile straights at each other and both landing brilliantly with their right hands right down the pipe. And another really close round between these two esports fight league competitors. And I don't really know who's winning this fight, Kingsley. It's really close, and I guess we're gonna have to see in this copy box. Addict with the win on one judge's scorecards, Kingsley.
Here we go. This is where it gets interesting. EyeGameUWatch has to see that and be like, okay, you're going to give him 2 rounds? All right, I'll just turn up and make you give me those points. While Addict85, say what you want. We can talk about stamina. We can talk about all the rocks that he's been getting. He is still in this fight, and he's still working his way through. Similar to our last fight where we saw from Pryoxis and King12Diaz, we can see one guy lead a fight, but when we see the consistent pressure of the other person, you will see it can change in the second half of these fights because we're in the round 7. There's still more 3 rounds, so it can easily flip on a dime where the round could be just tied up. But so far, Addict85, he's still trying to find his way back in here, Round.
Yeah, he's doing very good this round. You're seeing him now kind of playing off of his back foot, and it's EyeGame pursuing Addict, and EyeGame is landing these shots really nice. He's finding his moments and finding his range and connecting with these hooks and these straights, but Addict doing a great job at popping him on the inside as he's incoming, and these homing missiles are just being detonated upon each other, and this fight is heating up in the round number 7, and these two really want it, you could tell.
Yeah, oh, vicious jab counter. Oh, now we're into a little bit of a brawl. I saw what EyeGameUWatch did 10 seconds ago where he had like a hook into a straight. Those moves would pay dividends, but Addict85, combinations are key. Combinations are clutch. Even though you see your guy blocking, just get those shots. Just get those shots in. It's working. It's leaking in there. He can't block forever, so you can attack the head, but you can also attack the body as well. I want to see who's going to take more of the body and try to work their way up. Who's going to try to climb the mountain of their competitor and try to get more damage on their opponent. Because right there, Addict85 is just putting on his opponent now.
Yeah, and there's not that many body shots being thrown out. This is a headhunter's fight. You know, they're both really trying to put damage on the chin. They're trying to get that, you know, knockout or that knockdown, get that 10-8 round, and EyeGame is eating a lot of damage there. Addict is really doing a good job punching right through that block as he's incoming with that power jab. And this is a very close fight. I think Addict might be winning this. EyeGame's got to be careful. He's got to have a big round number 8, I think.
Let us know what you think in the chat down below, live on Twitch and on YouTube. If you have your predictions, I'm sure they're close, but it's going to be very close because this is a very tight fight, and both competitors are very much game in this competition. Ooh. As you can see, EyeGameUWatch able to land a nice counter and then go to the body, while Addict85 trying to enter back, trying to land the jab, trying to open his opponent a little bit more, still moving back a little bit because we know Terrence Crawford, he still has a defensive shell that's very tantalizing. But phone booth wise, who is going to make the benefit of getting these strikes? And so far, we've seen the body shots land, but EyeGameUWatch is saying, I can answer back too, and I probably have more stamina.
Yeah, EyeGameUWatch obviously pursuing the target that is Addict, but Addict doing a fantastic job at striking first on the inbound of EyeGame. And EyeGame may feel the momentum shift. I know I feel it towards Addict, and Addict is just doing phenomenally, just chipping away, comboing well. Addict flowing big time here.
Yeah, he's flowing, but again, the counters have been mostly jabs. I want to see like some hooks, maybe some body hooks to make the judges realize that he is doing good work. Because it's so many times that you could do a counter jab, and sometimes the judges don't even look for it. EyeGameUWatch going for big shots, trying to go for these hooks to start up the combination. It's working well, and if you stay in the phone booth, it's only going to leak out. But I love what Addict is doing. Even though he's in the phone booth, he's moving back a little bit. Now he's re-entering to do some damage, but EyeGameUWatch, he needs to put a little bit more pedal to the metal if he wants to get more judges in his favor.
Ooh, yeah, he's a little bit out of his element here, really being more of an aggressive fighter than I'm used to seeing. But he also obviously feels like he maybe he feels like he's winning, maybe he feels like he's down, but definitely the pressure from EyeGame looking strong, but Addict, his response is just so good. I don't know if he's gonna be able to make those adjustments. You know, Addict is on fire right now, but EyeGame is really hunting these big punches. You're seeing him throw these big hooks, Kingsley, on the inside and trying to lay down that power.
Yeah, and the main reason why he might be throwing those right hooks is because there's a white bar for the right swelling on the face of Terrence Crawford, and he's getting hit the most. I mean, you saw that left hook landing flush onto his opponent. EyeGameUWatch is still putting up the pressure, and he's going for it again, and that is big. Now you see the flow state happening. Hooks coming in more and more as the later rounds progress, and I feel like EyeGameUWatch is smelling it now. He's smelling a knockdown if he wants it.
I think you're right. He's opening up round number 9 beautifully, landing those punches on the inside, really, you know, testing cardio of Addict, testing the wherewithal, testing the mental fortitude, because EyeGameUWatch does not want to lose this. That undefeated record is on the line, but Addict also does not want that 0 to go. Both these guys really motivated to get the win, and both guys fighting absolutely phenomenally. They're exchanging on the inside, head snap back for Addict. Kingsley, this fight is amazing.
High risk, high reward. We saw EyeGameUWatch try to go for a power hook, not able to get it and got countered for it. If Addict85 could keep that same energy with the counters, he can do some wonders for his judges. But with 1 round left in the penultimate round, this is where it becomes more of a fight. You see the hooks coming in from EyeGameUWatch. He is in a fight right now, and he's landing some vicious hook right here, Rob.
Yeah, EyeGame seems to have entered into another form. He looks even more focused. His game is even more tight, and those hooks landing again and again. Bang! That left hand, he mixed it in. He mixed in that power left hand as well, and he's starting to take Addict out here a little bit in round number 9, maybe even stealing round number 9. And we're going into the 10th and final round. Addict with a nice little peppering jab. Boom, boom, bang.
Ooh. A good little answer, but this is going to be the biggest tell. What did the CompuBox predictions have it? It could be 1 round up for EyeGameUWatch. Addict85, it could be tied up. Who knows? And Addict85, even though EyeGameUWatch took the 9th round and won just the scorecards, it could be anybody's fight. Addict85 is up in 1 judge's scorecards. What can he do more to increase the lead? EyeGameUWatch sees that scorecards, knows that he needs to do all and everything to enter back. He's been able to land the hooks. Can he land more of the body shots? Well, Crawford, can he land more counters? Can he land more jabs onto his opponent? We'll have to find out here, Rob, because it's going to go big or go home.
This is such a crucial round for these two. The winner of this round is the winner of the fight, depending on how the judges are scoring this. And right off the bat, you're seeing EyeGame really implement and stick with that left hook. It's been absolutely money for him all fight, and he is connecting again and again like he's playing Connect 4 on the face of Addict, and he almost got 4 in a row, and Addict looks like he may be losing this round, but he's still popping that jab out. EyeGame coming out strong, though.
It's like a game of Monopoly. Who's going to go bankrupt or who's going to go past go and be the number 1 seed? We will have to find out as we're going down to the home run stretch. 1 minute on the dot right now is all for the marbles. Addict85 with 1 round lead in CompuBox predictions. Attacking the body. EyeGameUWatch trying to find his distance, trying to find a range, trying to find a nice counter, tries to go back in with a straight, not able to answer much as both guys trade as we're going closer, seconds winding down. Both guys find a fumble, power left hook lands, but not fully flush onto Addict85. A nice hook again, landed. That's been the favorite move of EyeGameUWatch. 15 seconds left, going down to the wire. Addict85 trying to land with a straight, 8 seconds left. EyeGameUWatch trying to put on the pressure, get the counter, get some. We're gonna go into the judges' scorecards, and we will find out who wins Will we see undefeated? It's it
Oh!
happened again.
Dang, a draw, and I'm not mad at that. That was such a closely contested fight. Both guys had their moments. Both guys, you could tell, were so hungry for victory and trying their best. And wow, what a performance. 95,
Wow.
95, 95, 95, 95 unanimous. Oh my God, Kingsley, let's go.
They gave the last 2 rounds to EyeGameUWatch. They saw it. And I think the biggest contention is round 6 and round 1. Very interesting to look back at it and see what they were fully looking for. But man, the back-to-back times that we come to, Rob, it's been nothing but draws in the main event. So we might have a curse on ourselves if we ever get back in the booth again. But you can see 39% landed in total strikes landed for EyeGameUWatch, while 37 was for Addict85 in total strikes landed, 261 to 214. And the power punches were more in favor for Terrence Crawford, but EyeGameUWatch did a little bit more work with his hooks and possibly his counter shots as well.
Yeah, for sure. You saw, EyeGameUWatch come out with that same sort of energy, that same hype, that same confidence, that same swagger, and he got tested by Addict for sure. Addict did a good job in the early and mid points of that fight, and then you saw EyeGameUWatch hit that next level, hit that next gear, knew that he was facing a worthy adversary, and really locking himself in and focusing and stealing those much needed later rounds. And we learned a lot about both of these guys. They're both very capable competitors and both able to, make these fly adjustments and really fight gritty until the bitter end. And what a wild tie! I mean, these main event ties are incredible, insane. Every judge scored it evenly. Kingsley, I mean, what a show! What an event! My goodness.
Yeah, and just to update you, we don't have the full standings, but just I have it on my notes. The fact that EyeGameUWatch, we thought like there's no losers in this contest, but the biggest losers might be the competitors trying to chase these guys or trying to see which one of them will lose. Because the fact that they both get points, that's huge. Because EyeGameUWatch now at 6 points, tied with the lead with Loso with his knockout 3-pointer. Now, Addict85, there's a logjam with 5 points. Addict85, Pryoxis, Job, all have 5 points. Excuse me, Roysten too. Roysten has 5 points as well. So 4 people have 5 points. So that's 5 slots already locked down. So the people who have 0 points or have 2 points, they have to be like, damn, I have to get more knockouts now. Like you guys couldn't just lose and make it one like less challenging obstacle. So the fact that all of the top scores, everything's congested. So it's gonna be really interesting going to the last 4 weeks. But before we even get to that, Rob, what do we think was the fight of the night of this week 3?
My vote is going to be the fight between Loso and Bone doing work. Those guys really got their hearts out. What is your pick?
I honestly, I wholeheartedly agree. I was gonna say the same thing,
Let's
but I
go.
wanted to say it first. But
Perfect.
Loso versus Bone doing work, the KO, the way Bone doing work. There was so many knockdowns, and it came down to the wire. And
They were
the
just
fact
letting
that
it
he got
fly.
it, yeah, and the fact that it could have been a 1-point difference by getting a knockout with 4 seconds left. That was the biggest difference in that you had to fight with such a clutch gene to even get it. It was like Steph Curry with a buzzer beater at the end of the game. You love to see it. So congratulations to Loso. And I say your name correctly this time. I saw your DM. I got it right. Against Bone doing work. Congratulations to you guys for putting on such a show. And congratulations to all our competitors for putting on such a great show for the people on Twitch and on YouTube and on our Discord. But without further ado, again, thank you so much to CF ESA for sponsoring us, for putting on such a great production along with us and just helping us out, for helping you guys get into a nice scholarship and just be a part of a great industry boosting career as well. But we will be back not next week, but the week after. So we're going to go on a little bit of a bye week. Then we'll come back for 4 straight weeks to give you all that undisputed fighting goodness. But Bruce Lee, Rob, where can they find you if they're trying to find you on socials?
You can find me on the island in Hawaii. Brucey Rob on Twitch.
Hey, I want to go on too, shoot. It's been a hot minute since I've been to Jamaica, but you guys can find me on Twitch, King BKR316, or you can find me on Twitter, King AHTK. AHTK is in all caps, so
I'm
that's
coming
where you
for
can
you.
find all. Oh well, listen, okay. So that's been our socials. That's been the whole broadcast. Me and Rob, we're going to talk about all these things and talk about islands. But we hope you guys have a fantastic Sunday and have a lot of good things. Thank you to everyone in the back. Thank you to our mods and everyone in chat for being amazing. We will see you guys at the next fight night. Have a good night and peace out.
Peace.